question. We want to know the March of Dimes originally founded to help find a vaccine for what? And to the phones we go. And our first caller up is Nancy. Let's go to Nancy. Hi there, Nancy.
Good morning.
Nancy, tell me what the March of Dimes originally founded to help find a vaccine for.
Polio.
Polio. All right. You are correct. Hang on, Nance. We're going to give you a $50 Dave & Buster's gift card. Summer is better in the great indoors at Dave & Buster's, where you can play 10 new games like Wicked Tuna, Dodgeball, and Top Gun Maverick Virtual Reality. Plus, enjoy 7 new chef-crafted menu items like Spicy Taco Burger and Spiked Black Cherry Limeade. And you can visit one of the 2 Philadelphia locations.
Yeah, the guy who came up with the polio vaccine went to Ursinus College.
Shut up. What's his name?
Casey Boy. Casey Foster.
Jonas Salk?
Jonas Salk.
Yeah, there you go. Nice. All right, so
Matt Cowper.
we will go through some entertainment stories.
For people who are thick.
We're going to start this. The mystery has been revealed as to why Blink-182's Travis Barker is in the hospital. TMZ now reports that he was admitted on Tuesday while suffering from pancreatitis.
Yeah.
The story emerged when photos appeared of him on a stretcher with wife Kourtney Kardashian at his side. He entered the hospital complaining of cramps. After being rushed in, he was later transported to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in L.A. for better care. Symptoms for pancreatitis include nausea, intense stomach pain, and vomiting. His current condition is unknown, but doctors believe the attack was triggered by a colonoscopy. And so I don't know much about pancreatitis and
Neither do
how
I.
bad that can get for people who suffer from it and what the cure is. Is it antibiotics or what? I don't know.
I'm curious as to what about a colonoscopy would have brought on pancreatitis. Yeah. Usually, whenever I've had them, they give you that propofol, and you're in seventh heaven.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, most definitely. But what goes on while you're out, who knows what can happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I get my first colonoscopy in 2 months.
All right.
I'm so excited, guys.
We got to have a party.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to this. Disgraced R&B superstar R. Kelly was sentenced yesterday to 30 years in prison for using his fame to sexually abuse young fans, including some who were just children, in a systematic scheme that went on for decades.
30 years.
Though through tears and anger, several of Kelly's accusers told the court in New York City and the singer himself that he had misled and preyed upon them, like they confronted him right then and there in the court. Kelly, who is 55 years old, did not give a statement and showed no reaction on hearing his penalty, which also included a $100,000 fine. He's denied wrongdoing, and he plans to appeal his conviction. The Grammy-winning, multi-platinum selling songwriter was found guilty last year of racketeering and sex trafficking at a trial that gave voice to accusers who had previously wondered if their stories were being ignored because they were black women. One of his accusers said at the sentencing, "Victims are no longer the preyed-on individuals we once were. There wasn't a day in my life up until this moment that I actually believed that the judicial system would come through for black and brown girls." A third woman, sobbing and sniffling as she addressed the court, also said Kelly's conviction renewed her faith in the legal system. The woman said Kelly victimized her after she went to a concert when she was 17. Kelly's lawyer, Jennifer Bongine, is that Cosby's lawyer or
No,
I know that name. Bongine. I've mentioned it here on the show before.
Yeah, there's been a couple of high-profile cases.
I thought she was involved in the civil trial.
Might have been.
Kelly, if you could look her up, Nick, real quick. Jennifer Bongine. Kelly's lawyer said that he was devastated by the sentence and saddened by what he had heard.
Years ago when that series started, in case you remember the documentary series where they started to explore some of this stuff, Preston, and people were like, "Oh, have you watched this series? It's pretty wild." And they were making what really damning allegations.
Right.
And I'm like, how come nothing's happened legally with this? If any of this is remotely true, and here we are now finally with, a 30-year sentence.
Yep. She is she's Cosby's lawyer too.
So she definitely has a type.
She definitely does have a type. Yep, absolutely. Pitch Perfect star Anna Kendrick and Trainwreck actor Bill Hader have reportedly called it quits.
Oh,
damn it!
Source told Entertainment Tonight that they have broken up.
You like both of them,
You
so
do.
you want them to have success.
Being with her would be so great because she could always do that cup song for you all the time.
Yeah.
Hendrick and Hader starred in the 2019 Disney Plus Christmas movie Noel together.
Yeah, a couple.
But it is unclear exactly when they started dating. The pair have worked hard to keep their relationship under wraps, but Vanity Fair reported in January that they had been dating quietly for over a year.
Do you think you could still do the cup song, Preston?
No, not at all. I mean, I would have to review it because I just don't remember it. But don't get.
You don't do it every day?
Don't get a cup. I don't want to do
Not
it.
a cup?
How about 2 cups? You go over that real quick.
All right. A horsey.
Oh.
Yeah, that's great.
That's pretty great.
It's going
That's
away
it. That's
now.
it. Running away.
Where's it going? Where's that horse going?
Come back!
I'll come back. Hang on.
It's like Secretariat.
So Bill Hader actually suffered from like anxiety prior to like going on stage at for Saturday Night Live, and I can't remember who he said told him this little trick, but they said mess something up early on, and then like you won't, and he said it worked for him. So he would like mess up a line early on in a show so that he would just kind of get over his stage fright.
Huh.
Yeah.
He would do that on purpose.
Did he sabotage himself?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not really messing up, though.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
first thing you
That's-
do is like they tell that to like news anchors, say the F word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that loosens things up.
And now for the effing news. We go now to effing Jim Eglashevsky outside the effing Pentagon. I feel all good now. We can proceed.
But anyhow,
What the F's going on out there?
the news of the breakup comes 2 months after Hader said, "Oh no," when he was asked if Kendrick would be appearing on his hit show Barry.
That's an interesting response.
Here you
Do
go.
we have the "Oh no"? Do we have the Nick "Oh no"?
No, but I have this. That's the cup song.
Oh Jesus!
Very helpful.
Guys, he can't
Let
do
me
it.
tell you, you mean to tell me you can remember all the dialogue from the original Tron movie from beginning to end?
Shut up.
It's gonna be it.
You know what? I'm getting out of here.
You done?
Oh, great.
Oh, now he's leaving. Everybody, look at him riding off.
Preston, come back!
Look at him go.
On his horse.
He just got on his horse and left.
As far as the audience knows, I got on a horse and I rode away.
Theater of the mind.
Radio.
Yeah.
Oh, he's coming back. Thank God.
He's coming back.
He changed his mind.
Guys, somebody say
Oh,
apologize. He's back. We don't want to lose him again.
Sorry, I played that song from my phone.
I have other stories to get to. A year ago, Elizabeth Olsen referred to Robbie Arnett as her husband, which got the rumor mill going. However, the pair hadn't confirmed
My wife and I got into a serious fight over that.
that they were, in fact, a married couple until now. On a recent episode of the Jess Cagle Show, Olsen and Arnett appeared together and broke the news.
Oh, that's great.
And she said, we eloped, and then we had a wedding at another time, and it was just before COVID, and I just never talked about it. She said, we luckily timed things out accidentally really well. And she had commented on the influence of the pandemic at the time. She said everything was so backed up, you couldn't even like try to get married then, but it ended up working out. So,
Okay, who is he? Is he
yeah,
a
that's what I was
musician?
wondering. Robbie Arnett. I'm not
Yeah.
really sure.
When you said that, I was thinking it's the guy, but that's Ahmet. That's the dude from Upload.
Yep. I was wondering if he's related to Will Arnett, but I doubt that's the case.
He's a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
Musician type.
He's
That works.
not good looking enough for her. She's like my number one, and I want better.
She's
for
your
her.
number
What?
one?
Wait a second. She doesn't have liver spots.
Yeah, no, she's my number one. Yeah, I was just thinking about this the other day. She's my number one. Charlize Theron is my number two.
When the hell did all this happen?
Yeah.
Wait, what are you
usually
talking about?
You're usually not into anyone who's not living in a retirement
Yeah,
home.
you go for old
Stop
ladies.
it. I have a wide range of things that get me off. Sorry, Caroline.
My youngest is here in the studio
That's
with us.
good.
But that's not my fault, and I cannot, Kathy. I cannot.
You're not keep it from
Wait,
happening.
who's
No.
your number one? Just this-
Elizabeth Olsen. She's my number one. Number two is Charlize Theron. And number three is Salma Hayek. See, I do go for the older broads.
Okay, I did not know that about the
Yeah.
Elizabeth Olsen thing.
She is perfect.
Okay.
She's
All right.
absolutely right.
Listen, I don't hate that. She's lovely. She's quite lovely.
He's in a band called Milo Green, and I know them a little bit. They have a song called 1957. So he's a musician. The Milo Green has a little bit of middling success.
So I guess she picks up the check.
Probably, yeah. You know, and it's interesting when those
It's
types of
our
things.
money now.
Well, it's like, you know, Scarlett Johansson and Colin Jost. I mean, Colin Jost,
Yeah.
I'm sure makes a decent living, but he doesn't make ScarJo money.
No.
All right, moving on to some other things and some legal issues. Kim Kardashian is facing some legal trouble regarding a new skincare line, Skin, SKKN, by Kim, Skin by Kim. A Black-owned and Brooklyn-based small business called Beauty Concepts is claiming ownership over the name. Now, apparently, Beauty Concepts provides salon services under the name Skin, SKKN+.
What a
all right?
crock of crap.
So the LLC sent a cease and desist letter to Kardashian's legal team with the company's founder, Cindy Lunsford, saying that she's owned the Skin Plus name since 2018. Kardashian's attorney called the claims a shakedown effort, saying the lawsuit is not what it seems.
This is absolutely reprehensible. We plan on fighting it in court.
And he continued saying, we applaud Miss Lunsford for being a small business owner.
But we're going to crush her.
And following
Crush her and her family. We'll dance on their dead bodies and drink their blood. But we respect her as a standalone business.
Yes. He goes on to say, but that doesn't give her the right to wrongfully claim that we've done something wrong. In this letter, Beauty Concepts claimed to...
We will cut their heads off and we will crap down their necks. As the blood spurts upwards, poop will be going down into their necks. But I digress.
You're just being clear.
But we wish her nothing but the best.
Nothing but the best as a small business operator. In these trying times, we respect what she's doing, but we will literally kill her children in front of her and set them on fire.
Literally?
Literally. Wow. Figurative. People say literally, they go, you don't mean literally. I'm telling you right now, this is literally what we're going to do. We're going to murder her children, launch them into a wood chipper, and then make hummus out of their dissected bodies.
Hummus.
Then when the poop comes out, after eating that, we're going to set that on fire.
Wow.
And throw those flaming turds in a home. And the retirement home her aged grandmother lives in.
Literally.
Literally. That's the kind of representation you
There you
need
go.
when you go to court.
That's fire.
I don't care. Anytime, day or night, I will threaten bodily harm to anyone.
Pull a phone out of your pocket.
yeah.
I have people at her house right now.
Yeah.
All right, so he continues to say in its letter...
Look down at your chest. Is there a red dot?
In its letter, Beauty Concepts claimed to own rights to a logo made up of SKKN Plus and had just to file for trademark protection for that logo.
Kathy, have you, in this product line and this whole annoying skims and skimojis and all this crap, is it actually popular?
Skims is popular. I got it and hated every second of it. It was not for me.
It's supposed to be, though, for curvier, right?
That was. They also have a denim line. I think it's called American Girl, maybe.
Right.
And they also market that as for curvy girls. Let me tell you, it is not.
No? Okay.
No, it is not at all.
I mean, they
like
have
I
these-
ordered my regular size,
Right.
and it didn't fit me. I would have had to have ordered, I think, 2 sizes up in order for their quote curvy size
That's
girl
kind of
jeans
outlandish.
to
yeah.
fit me.
Yeah.
They have these, like, essentially shapewear for men as well.
Yeah, I'd wear
and,
that.
well, I got to tell you, because I got love handles and everything. There are bibs that I wear for cycling.
Yeah.
And they are, like, basically like control top. I kind of like the way it makes my frame look.
So
Gives you like a little girdle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
if you're wearing like a taffeta dress,
yeah.
will it show your muffin top?
Well, taffeta's a color, right?
Right.
I
You guys-
don't like that color.
You do see the ads that pop up like on Instagram for guys for shirts that kind of show off that are fitted
Yes,
for ladies.
they're hilarious.
Yeah.
They're
I know.
ones that actually have ab ridges built into the control top.
That I
panel.
haven't seen.
That's hilarious.
Okay. These are more like, that it fits so that it's kind of tight around your arms, makes you look like you have bigger biceps than you do, and it's a little looser in the gut and a little
They have
tighter in the
shirts
chest.
now where they actually have hand-drawn biceps onto the breast.
So anyway, Kim's lawyer goes on to say the business was a one-person shop offering facials from a single Brooklyn location. The salon had no signage and was by appointment only. To our knowledge, Beauty Concepts sold no products under the Skin Plus name. So
I think that they're just doing a money grab.
they're shutting that down. Maybe they are, yeah. Cameron Diaz is coming out of a self-proclaimed retirement from acting to star with Jamie Foxx in a Netflix feature aptly titled Back in Action.
I had a feeling, at some point, she was going to come back. There's no way
Yeah.
she gave it up entirely.
Yeah, I knew she was taking a nice long break. But yeah, she
was working R&D for Skimojis.
I did not know that. But the announcement was made via Fox's social media, where he posted audio of him, Cameron Diaz, and Tom Brady talking. And you could hear Brady saying, I was talking to Jamie, and he said you needed a few tips on how to unretire. And I'm relatively successful and unretiring. So thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
The last time that Diaz appeared on screen in the film adaptation of Annie, which also starred Fox, that was the last time she did it. So the duo also appeared together in the Oliver Stone film, Any Given Sunday. So they have some, work that they've done together.
Any Given Sunday, solid.
Actually, just
I liked
watched
it.
The last Annie, not so good.
No, it sucked. And don't even try it. Like Carol Burnett, like that whole one from the 80s, it's not going to get any better than that. But I actually just watched Any Given Sunday like a week ago. I kind of turned it on. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
It had been
I
years since I watched it.
Horrible Bosses filmmaker Seth Gordon will direct Back in Action from a script that he wrote with Neighbors screenwriter Brendan O'Brien. Storyline for the action comedy film is being kept under wraps, but production is due to start later this year.
She's married to
Benji or Joel
Madden.
from Madden, from
John Madden.
No, she's married to John Madden.
Charlotte.
From Good Charlotte. Thank you, Casey. So, by the way, she had said back in 2018, talking about her retirement, saying that she was just, going to give it up at least for a while. And sure enough, she's going to find a project to get back into. Christian Bale is currently doing some press for his role as Gore, the God Butcher in the upcoming Thor Love and Thunder. And while it is far from Bale's first turn as a villain, it's also a return for Bale to the superhero genre. And in an interview with comicbook.com, Bale was asked whether or not he would come back to play Batman or if anyone reached out to him with the influx of Bruce Wayne's heading to the Flash film. And he said, no, nobody reaches out to me, or they keep me like a mushroom. They keep me in the dark and feed me S. But he said, for me, talking about playing Batman again, he said that would be a matter of Chris Nolan. If he ever decided to do it again, and if he chose to come my way again, then yeah, I'd consider it, because that was always our pact between each other, is that we would just stick to it.
I like that.
We said that we would only ever make 3, and then I said to myself, and I'd only ever make it with Chris. So the interesting...
Will you play Batman again? You will.
The interesting thing is that he didn't say no in that question, so he might be open to it. And I really, really did love those movies. They were fantastic.
Are fantastic.
Yeah, so if he were to do it again, I would be all over it. But in the meantime, Thor Love and Thunder, and we'll give away movie passes for that screening we have next Wednesday, IMAX King of Prussia. So get ready for that pre-screening we're going to have. Machine Gun Kelly smashed a champagne glass against his face with such force that it shattered, causing him to bleed profusely from his forehead. Photos showed blood streaming down his neck and all over the front of his shirt while he held a bloody napkin.
And why did he do this?
This happened in a restaurant full of people after he performed a sold-out concert at Madison Square Garden. As the glass broke, the crowd screamed as Kelly yelled obscenities into a microphone. And he said, I don't give a F, bro. I don't give an S.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, which is it? Does he not give an F or an S?
That's a good question. Maybe
Bro.
it's both.
Yeah.
Bro.
Both. Kinda.
Excuse me, you distinctly made 2 references. Is it the F or the S you don't give an F or an S about?
And he followed it up by singing his hit song, My Ex-Best Friend. So I don't know.
Is this sort of a punk thing?
I don't know.
I don't know,
Maybe.
man. When you post it on your own Instagram account, once you've sliced your forehead open, you're just doing it to be seen.
Look what I did, bro.
Yeah, I'm so badass. Look at the blood on my head.
Yep.
Yeah, here's my girlfriend right behind me.
Cara Delevingne, who plays Selena Gomez's love interest on Only Murders in the Building, said that kissing Gomez was, quote, just fun. On E! News, she said, would anyone in the world not like to kiss Selena? It was just hysterical. It's one of those things, especially when you know someone so well, it's the comfortability, and you kind of have fun with it, she said.
I can't wait to get started. Is season 2 shaping up nicely, Nick?
I haven't watched it yet either, Steve. Yeah, I'm watching Godfather of Harlem, so like and that came out in 2021. It's impossible to keep
Got a
track
couple
of all
years
of it.
to catch up.
Yeah, but I will. It was
I'm
my
watching
favorite.
the final episode of MASH tonight.
I watched Jeopardy and stuff that came out 3 years ago, but I love Only Murders in the Building. I can't watch the season 2.
Throw another one at you. Start watching The Old Man with Jeff Bridges.
I heard great things about that too.
All right.
Yeah.
It takes forever to piss.
I think there's a
Tonight on The Old Man. It's taken a half hour to take one piss. Don't talk to me. You distract me from the other room. I want my pound cake and I want a cream soda. Now let me piss. The Old Man.
Tonight. No, but
It's on FX. You can watch it, I believe, maybe on Hulu as well. But it's only like weekly episodes, so you
For
can't.
the people who brought you the old woman. Dear God, I'm as dry as a desert.
So how many episodes?
There's 3 episodes out now.
Okay, and so they're just releasing them weekly.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a network show, so yeah.
What is the, just quickly?
The conceit is he is a retired, in hiding, former CIA operative.
Interesting.
Spent time in the in Afghanistan during the Russian-Afghanistan war.
Right.
I think he thought he left the past behind, but revenge can't wait forever.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Revenge can't wait forever.
He thought he left the past behind, but revenge can't wait forever.
I heard that.
Yeah, I think I heard that too.
Steve,
He also found out that in space, no one can hear you scream.
next week they play shuffleboard.
You're a stinking cheater.
Yeah.
You can't stand on the board.
It's a footfall. All right, moving on to a couple other quick things. Eva Mendes requested a special.
Who ate my olive loaf?
Oh my God.
Who ate your what?
Olive loaf.
Episode 4.
Eva
I wanted
Mendes.
to ask you, is it time to throw out this baking soda in the refrigerator? Episode 6.
It's a heavy drama, man.
Yeah.
Why do you keep this tissues rolled up in your sleeve? Episode 7.
Steve. Episode 8 is nice piece fruit.
I want nice piece fruit. Something nice, not too tart. It makes it, I get the toots. We just went through all the episodes. It's great.
Nice piece of fruit. Eva Mendes?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. She requested a special souvenir from her partner Ryan Gosling from the set of the new Barbie movie. On an episode of The Talk earlier this week, the actress commented on the first look photo of Gosling as Ken. She said there was something about the image that sparked my, that little teenage, and then she just kind of gestured, and she was admitted that she was asked to keep the underwear that he was sporting. Apparently, she said, it's funny. It's a funny photo. He's trying to be funny, so it worked on all levels. But when I saw it, when he sent it to me from work, I was like, can I please have the underwear? Please, I never ask for anything. So that's what she wanted from him.
I like her a lot.
I do, too. Yeah, she's
He's
stunning.
great. Honestly, whenever La La Land is on,
Oh, man.
I can't help it.
I love that
freaking
movie.
love that movie.
I know. And I don't like musicals. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I beg to differ, Preston. You love musicals.
All right. Well, so
You've come around, is what I'm
like when
trying to say.
Chicago came out, I'm like, no, I don't want that. When Mamma Mia, no. But something about
Tick Tick Boom is a
I
music-
did enjoy
Boom,
Tick Tick Boom.
Hamilton.
Yeah. That's a
Grease
stage,
2?
That's a stage show. You know what? There are a couple songs in Grease.
Your daughter.
Your daughter's
saying
yelling at
stuff.
you.
Go ahead. Rent. Thank you.
Oh my God.
That's a musical. That's that's a stage show.
It's a musical.
Okay, whatever, man.
You don't like movie musicals, like Sing Street. You didn't like that.
I thought it was okay. Yeah. So-
I love Sing Street too. Yeah.
but I did love
I
Tick
love
Tick
she's
Boom.
giving you a hard time.
Coda.
Always gives me a hard time.
Great.
All right. So anyhow,
She's just like,
She's like,
Rent.
You based your whole life on it's one of your wedding songs.
I know.
It's been a great
he's
show
going to get
so
on his
far,
horse
by the
again
way.
if we're not.
It has been.
He's going to get on his horse again.
He's going to go riding out of here if we're not nice.
No!
It's over there.
Preston is instituting a new day called Take Your Daughter Home from Work.
Yeah.
What's my horse's name? What should it be?
Ooh.
Hey, Bombo, come here.
Bombo.
I don't like Bombo. I don't like Bombo.
Don't like Bombo?
No.
Not your horse.
Bajmir.
Lightning.
Bajmir.
That's
Bajmir,
right.
Come here. I'm out of here, guys.
There you go.
No!
Boschman!
Oh my God!
Oh, he's just doing his job.
I will avenge you.
Jeez.
All right, anyhow. One more quick.
Now we can make glue.
One more quick thing. Julia Roberts and George Clooney play execs, putting their differences aside for a common goal in their new comedy.
They're exes.
The Oscar winners star in the first trailer for Ticket to Paradise, playing a divorced couple who make a truce in order to stop their daughter from marrying a man that she just met.
Okay, so I'm kind of a sucker for a good rom-com as well.
Me too. Yeah.
All right, so this could be interesting.
In the trailer, Roberts and Clooney are seen doing shots together, dancing together, playing beer pong. Clooney in one scene even gets bit by a dolphin while weary of sharks.
So is this, in fact, the unofficial Eddie Money story?
It might be Ticket to Paradise. Sharing the trailer on Instagram, Roberts wrote Buckle Up. And Clooney told Deadline that the movie is something special and sort of an old-fashioned film.
So, Kathy, where do you stand on George Clooney? Better looking as he gets older, or what's?
Oh, yeah, I love him.
All right.
So this is they've been in a movie together before, right?
Oh,
yeah, a couple of them. Yeah, 'cause they were in the Oceans movie,
Right.
Oceans 11, the first one. She was in the second one too.
There was
right?
one that they did together.
Short Circuit 2?
No, they weren't in that. They did one together as like husband and wife, or the comedic foils or something like that. That came out a few years ago.
Oceans something or other.
I can't remember.
Weren't they in Oceans?
Yeah,
They were,
Yeah,
yeah.
we already. Yeah,
Did we already say that?
We did
say
I
that.
wasn't paying attention.
That's okay.
I was trying to find Preston
Just
a new
rewind about
horse.
7 seconds and you'll hear it.
You're trying to find me a new horse.
Yeah, Steve killed
Oh.
Bajmir.
Okay, it's all good. So anyhow, I'm not sure when this movie is coming out as of yet, but I think this will be cool. Oh yeah, it's in theaters October 21st. So.
Sometimes what happens is they try to pace these out. They'll, in a movie market that might not be, easy for a movie like this to get traction. They kind of space it out. And they put it right in the pocket, and it'll take off. Yeah. And I think that's what they're hoping for.
There was a movie that came out in 2016 called Money Monster, and I watched some of it as Jodie Foster directed it, and I had high hopes because it was Clooney and Julia Roberts.
We have audio of her directing. Man, she's a taskmaster.
Yeah,
on
it's
set,
usually
isn't
one
she?
take with Jodie.
Right.
Look, I'd love to do what you're asking me, but I don't understand what you're saying. I cannot sigh on a con.
So anyhow, that'll be out in October. All right, we're ready for clips. Let's get to those now. The Terminal List follows Lieutenant Commander James Reese as he uncovers a government conspiracy behind a traumatic ambush that decimated his squadron. And here Chris Pratt gives a deeper explanation to the complex storyline.
It's very much a psychological thriller in tone. It's pretty dark and kind of twisted. So his own recollection of what has gone down, we realize is wrong. And so he's having issues with his memory, he's having issues with his mind, and he can't explain what's going on. And he doesn't know whether or not he's culpable in the death of his men. His paranoia is growing. We don't know if it's because he's in the middle of a conspiracy or if he's just kind of losing his mind.
Translation, boring.
The Terminal List streams on Prime Video tomorrow, by the way.
So this
And
is
of
a
course,
more
he's gonna
dramatic thing for him, yeah?
He's going to be in Thor: Love and Thunder, too. Yeah. Yes, I believe so. All right, next clip. Here we go. For 7 years, 4 seasons, and 32, soon 34 episodes, Millie Bobby Brown has starred as 11 in Stranger Things. In this clip, Millie talks about the iconic role approaching coming to an end. Here we go.
It's a very emotional thing. I think people keep asking the question as if, it's like something that we can really accept. It's not really. I mean, it's actually like something that I think I'm going to actually have to take time about. It's like my whole life, half of my life, I've known this show and these people. So it's going to be a hard one.
Yeah!
Stranger Things Volume 2 premieres tomorrow on Netflix. Caroline and I have been rewatching Season 4 again in preparation for this. It's our show.
Well, yeah, and so this is officially the wrap-up, yeah?
Yeah, 2 more episodes, and then it
of the
wraps up
series.
Season 4. No, they said that there will be a 5th season. So I don't know why.
That was my understanding.
Yeah, this says the iconic role approaching coming to an end, but they have flat out said that there will be a 5th season.
All right,
so.
I hope that better be the case.
If they can't pull
There
a
is.
fast one on us.
No,
so.
there is. She might just be talking
Was she
about.
drunk, do you think?
No, I think she's talking about the eventual end of the series.
All right.
All right, and that is it. That's the entertainment report for today. And you have been good, and like I said, I will reward you.
Nice.
We have tickets for was going to happen. For Thor, Love and Thunder, it is next Wednesday, July 6th at 7 p.m. at the UA King of Prussia, the IMAX screen. So we'll take callers 10 and 11 at 215-263-WMMR, and you will get to see the film. Don't forget, another chance to win is just by clicking contest at WMMR.com. You might get them that way. So let's get you on board. We're going to take a break. We'll come back in just a moment. Stay with us on this Thursday morning. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
And believe it or not, it's from Cosmos, from Cosmopolitan Magazine.
That's all we read.
The most popular horror movie the year you were born.
Ooh, okay.
And this was kind of a bitch slap to you emotionally, wasn't it, Preston?
It starts 2 years after I was born.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's a fire drill.
We have a flashing strobe in the studio, that's why. 1991 was Silence of the Lambs.
Yes.
I don't consider it a horror movie, but many do. So it was more suspense and...
Thriller.
And thriller, yeah, exactly.
Thriller. Scary. Pleasure to meet you, Dr. Lecter. I'll be working closely with you.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God.
He's
Let me out. Let me out. What's the problem? Let me out of here.
They finally found the thing that broke Lecter.
Just found your great cellmate.
Yeah.
Dr. Lecter. Holy Jesus. We're going to become fast friends. Oh, my God. What are you?
He's pounding on the glass.
Let me out!
He's trying to get through that opening where they put the food.
Why? Wait, what's wrong? I'm going to let my gloves dry out here on the end of the bed.
You didn't want to play quid pro quo with him?
Nothing, nah.
Yeah.
I got a better game, Twister.
Oh, my God. Well, 1991, it was the number one horror film.
Let's play Pictionary.
1993. All right, here you go again. 1993. But I guess it would all depend on what was out that year. Go ahead. You want to guess?
You're not going to say Jurassic Park, are you?
No.
Okay.
No. But it was Fire in the Sky.
Wait, what was 92?
Did I skip 92?
I think so.
Turner and Hooch.
It's not on here. The Mystery Year, 1992.
What? They just skipped it?
Yeah, that's interesting.
It was a movie called Hannibal and Michael.
Oh,
Let me out!
What is that music?
Oh, no. Oh, you lead a deranged life.
Well,
I
Candyman.
once ate a census taker's liver with some fava beans and Chianti. I once had a Boy Scout Jamboree party at my house the entire weekend. Holy Christ. And it tasted good.
Oh, my God.
I sauteed them with Jesus juice. I change diapers on my monkey every day. Holy Christ. And I pitch in bottles and leave them around the house. And my nose comes off. Get me out of here! I'm 40 years old and I have parties for 9-year-old boys. Holy Jesus! Why? Let me out!
Oh, my God.
You have such fun.
You do that list again? Because seriously, when you list it like that,
Hey, Blamas, I pitch a diaper on my monkey every day. I piss in bottles. I have an entire staircase as a tribute to Home Alone. I bounce Emmanuel Lewis up and down on my lap all throughout every award show.
Oh.
I drink Jesus juice. My nose comes off. I used to be black. And I made my kids wear Mardi Gras masks. And have a train, but a real one.
Lecter admits everything. He just,
I will tell you right now how you can get in touch with Buffalo Bill. I have a dress.
I have his home
exact
address.
longitude and latitude.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
Get me out.
Nice to meet you, Dr. Lecter. Oh, my God.
We're going to be good friends.
Corn has launched its new coffee brand called Corn Coffee.
Corn Coffee.
Yes.
It's a great name.
Corn Coffee.
If you like the driven rock of corn, you'll love their coffee.
Corn personally curated the creation of corn coffee.
Yeah, that's good.
See how many K sounds I can put in there. Corn personally curated the creation of corn coffee, a process that saw the band members tasting multiple variations for ultimately selecting the perfect roast and blend.
Yeah, that one.
Each bag of corn coffee will feature a special message from the band, which reads, after almost 25 years of touring, making records, and playing in front of all of our amazing fans,
we still drink coffee.
One thing has remained a constant in our daily routine.
Lattes!
I was not expecting that.
I know.
Lattes! No, it says coffee. The ritual, the brew, the aroma, and most importantly, that very first cup every morning that sets the tone is something that we look forward to every day.
Well, this is interesting. We're actually watching footage of them sampling the various brews.
Yeah. It says, because of our passion, we've gotten together with a roaster and handcrafted our very own blend, coffee. It's called corn coffee.
Next up, corn licorice.
Corn recently began recording its new album in Nashville, Tennessee, by the way, but now they have corn coffee.
That's part of waking up is corn coffee in your cup.
That's right. Yeah, cup. This is...
cup.
Always at the ready.
Yeah, a couple.
We need to have Nick coffee or something like that.
Yeah.
Have a cup. Have a cup.
This is our new blend. It's called Nanapuya.
From the hills of Nanapia.
Yeah. Brought down by mules every day at 2 o'clock after the afternoon rain. The beans are enriched with monkey urine.
If only we had a coffee sponsor to do this for us.
I know.
Yeah.
Right?
Nanapuya.
Well, that's good.
Have a cup.
Yeah, a cup.
God. Or no, the question would be, would you like some?
Yeah, a cup.
No, not Nanapuya. Yeah, cup.
Come on. Yeah, a cup. That'd be ridiculous.
Do you want a thermos or a cup?
Yeah, a cup.
Okay.
Oh, one Nanapuya for table 7.
Okay.
What is that one?
That's you. That's Mini Wookie. That's Nick. So you ask, have you decided what you like, sir?
Nanapuya.
Nanapuya.
Nanapuya. I don't remember Mini Wookie.
All right. Anyhow, corn has coffee.
Corn coffee.
It's almost an embarrassment that we live in this city and that we don't. You know,
But
I think you're right, though, Preston. Stop and check it out, at least to
just
some
see
degree.
Why groups of people decided that it would be a good idea to memorialize this person in that form.
Also, don't hesitate now and then to throw a rope around on it and attach to your boat hitch.
That why is intriguing to me as well. Like, what the hell is the point of dragging a statue into the river?
But you know, when I heard the news report it this morning, they reported it as if, like, here we go again. Now, there was only one other incident, but...
There's a lot of statues being pulled down for various reasons, whether you had down south with the Confederate statues and things of that nature, and if they believe, well, you know, there's it's kind of the thing, but this thing seemed like, what's that about?
Yeah. Hey, what did Rizzo do that was so great that he gets a statue?
He was just a really popular mayor. I mean, like he was larger than life in a bunch of different ways in stature.
Yeah.
And so because of his tactics, he was well known. He left his mark, good and bad, and deserved a statue as a result.
Yeah.
You're a real crumb bum.
And he gave us
that, honestly, I would give him a statue just for that.
the crumb bum.
I'll take you out back, butches.
Yeah.
My arms tied behind my back.
Yeah.
I'll pound you into the pavement, I will.
That whole audio, you look like a lush to me. He's telling the reporter.
Yeah.
Would you care to talk to CBS? You look like a lush. I'll pound you into the pavement.
You want to relive that?
Yes, I do.
All right, Casey's finding the audio of Frank Rizzo when he was confronted. He wasn't happy about it. He was out walking his dog, and
maybe the Viking was the Nordic Frank Rizzo.
They were confronting him about.
You look like a lush to me. What's your story? I hit you with my shield. I'll take you out back and hit you with my shield.
Yeah. What are you?
You're a crumb bum.
You can't find it, Case?
I don't know. Here, let's
Here
try
you go,
this one.
Crumb Bum. Go,
Crumb Bum, see Frank Rizzo.
it says Rizzo.
See Crumb Bum.
This says call Stan Bowman. Here we go.
Yeah, that's it.
There is Stan Borman from Channel 3 News. Could we...
How are you?
Fine, sir. How are you?
Good.
Could we talk with you for just a moment?
No, I'm busy.
You couldn't answer any of our
I
questions?
wouldn't talk to you under any condition.
Why is that, sir?
Forget it. Scram. Get out of here.
Sir,
Ram. Hit the road.
Ram.
You lussia. Why?
Stand up, please.
Get away from me. I'm now a private citizen.
Yes,
you
sir.
get away from me.
We're allowed to be on the streets, sir.
I don't want to talk to you. Get away from me.
How do you feel about the security guards
Get
being
away
taken off
from
of you, sir?
Get away from me, or I'm going to throw you out in the middle of the street.
Gonna throw you right out there.
Sir, one more question.
I'm telling you, get away from me.
You were the symbol of law and order in Philadelphia, sir, for many years. People looked
Get
up to
away
you and
from
respected
me.
you.
Look, creep, get out of here.
How could you justify your actions at our cameras last Monday in front of your
Get
house?
out. You're a creep.
We're a member of the media. We'd like
You're
to have an answer to our
You're a
question.
creep.
Why did you attack our cameras, sir?
Get it all. Don't miss any of it. You're a creep. Get away from me.
Would you answer the question?
Dude, he had great pipes.
He really
He
did.
Listen to his voice. Get away from me. He could do movie trailers.
This weekend at the Community Cinema Pucks.
But you're a creep. Get away from me.
Would you answer the question?
You know, you hide behind that press card.
I'm not hiding behind anything, sir. I just wanted to get some
I'll
answers.
tell you what to do. There's a gang of yous here. There's enough of you here. By myself, I'll take yous physically.
Well, I'm not asking you to take me physically.
Well, get away from me.
Well, sir, I'm on the
If you're-
public
if
street.
you're
I should be authorized to be here.
I'll break it off.
I'll break it off.
I'll break it off.
Physically and mentally.
Yeah.
I'll get inside your brain.
This is after he was mayor. Yeah. You know, you think he'd be happy in retirement. but-
Nah, he didn't care.
Big dude, though.
Yeah.
You see him next to the reporter. He's a big dude.
Yep.
Head. Get away
I think
from me.
I think the
was a cop.
statue.
He
Yeah,
was
the
a cop,
statue's
right?
1-to-1 scale.
Yeah,
I'll break it over your head.
yeah. I'll break it over your head. Hang on. Let's go back.
I'll break it over your head. I'll break it over your head. Get away from me, you crumb. That's a challenge, except I'll put my dog away and I'll come back. And you got 1, 2, 3. And I'll do
1,
it
2,
along
3.
Yeah.
Follow me.
Yeah.
Let me just put Fifi back in the house. Come on, Fifi, heel.
It is kind of a little dog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
with 3.
No?
No.
I can't see the dog. Oh,
No,
no,
it's a
I was
big
wrong.
dog.
I was
Yeah.
incorrect. I thought that he had a little poodle with him.
Daddy loves you.
Yeah.
Daddy
give me
loves
kisses.
you. Give me love monster kisses.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna come back and kill yous all. Beat you to death with a tire iron and then dance in your blood. Who wants you to do? Who wants you to do? Gonna put you in the house now. All right, don't be scared. Gotta.
Kath, I think we need to open up shop today and clear out some of the inventory that we have around the store.
Time to visit the general store. There's Preston Elliott, the proprietor, right at the door, waiting to move you on in and kick you the F out.
Don't you, by the way, when we do this segment, I have a vision of myself standing there. I don't know why, but I see me wearing an apron.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
On the front, waving, giving sort of the almost like the Beverly Hillbillies wave, you know.
Yeah.
Like, hey, how are you?
You probably rode
Bow
your
tie.
horse into work today, too.
Yeah.
You
No,
know
the
what?
horse is
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah, you
In
definitely
fact,
did.
yeah, it's one of those. So
No, but you'd have a buggy. You wouldn't be horseback.
Really?
Yeah.
At the odds and ends store?
yeah.
all right.
yeah,
Well, you got to carry things in.
yeah, I'd be riding in on a wagon.
Oh,
That's what I would have. But
Got
but
3
I'd
50-pound bags of flour in the
I'd
back.
have a team of horses
Yeah.
out in front. So, all right. Anyhow, we're gonna go
The
in.
jacuzzis are in.
We're gonna go in. We're gonna go into home furnishings.
Oh, good.
To start off with in this section.
By the way, this general store is 20,000 square feet.
It is.
Yeah.
Not a tiny place. A solar-powered patio umbrellas sold exclusively at Costco have been recalled because some of them are catching on fire.
Great.
You just get one?
I just, but not at Costco. Yeah. I got it at, sorry, I'm eating some.
Yeah, yeah.
I noticed.
It's
some
just
breakfast.
cottage cheese.
Yep.
Yeah, I got it
Which
at
is
Lowe's.
recommended for
Yeah.
broadcasters.
Well, I don't always talk, so I thought this was a good eating time.
But you,
And then
you volunteered information.
Well, I literally 1 week ago I bought a solar-powered umbrella
From a company called Napalm.
not Napalm, but it was actually at Lowe's. It was a good deal too, Steve.
By the way, they're really good. So if you haven't seen them, they have solar
They have lights.
lights, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
inside.
underneath.
LED lights.
When you open up, so there's a solar panel up like on top, and that powers the lights.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, so in the evening, if you want to have that open and have it be a bit of a light source, they're cool.
They do a fine job.
But they burst into flames.
Yeah, and they'll incinerate your guests.
Yeah. So the umbrellas were sold at Costco.
Burning alive!
Warehouses.
What started as a pleasant evening and we're dying?
They were sold online as well between $130 and $160 from December 2020 through May 2022. In the U.S., there were 3 reports of solar panels catching on fire while charging via the AC adapter indoors, and 2 reports of umbrellas catching fire when the solar panel puck overheated and caught fire while attached to the umbrella, and 1 smoke inhalation injury. Some of these happen in Canada.
This is wild because something as benign as an umbrella has now become a tool of death.
Around 400,000 of the umbrellas were sold in the U.S. Customers should stop using the umbrellas and remove the solar panel puck.
Yeah, right.
Which is the piece that contains the lithium-ion battery. Store it out of the sun and away from combustible material, and not charge the puck with its AC adapter. Okay. The umbrellas can be returned to any Costco warehouse for a full refund. So you should get rid of these if you have one.
Is this a Costco-specific brand?
Yeah. Sold exclusively at Costco.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, mine is not like this at all, Steve. I have one of those. I think you have one as well. It's like one of those cantilever. Is that the right word? Where you can move it all around.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not solar powered.
We have a cantilever umbrella. They're huge, first of all, but you can maneuver them to where they can actually almost be like a screen behind you or in front of you.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you're looking for the all-purpose umbrella to get one of those suckers.
Yep.
Yeah. By the way, I mentioned the lithium battery. I got an interesting email yesterday of a guy, and you'll see that. No, not stop it.
No, let's go to the email section.
No, he says that he is one of our few Welsh listeners, and he actually did some work with lithium batteries. So it's what made me think of this. Can I read this short email?
Absolutely.
It says, "Hey, Preston, I guess after listening to your life-enhancing show since November 6, 2006, I qualify for a long-distance, long-time listener shout-out. I am of Welsh descent, and I live in Stoke-on-the-Trent, England.
Yeah.
The center of the world pottery industry, Wedgwood and all.
Oh, wow.
And I'm also a fan of the oldest league soccer team in the world, Stoke City, just in case Casey is getting you bored with Manchester United.
Well, I'll check into that.
He said, I started listening when, as a technical guru, I visited the headquarters of a world-leading article tagging company in Thoroughfare to innovate a solution. Before that, at Oxford University, I was a pioneer of the lithium battery.
This is a learned person.
And at BP Solar pioneered the thin film solar cell, now generating tens of gigawatts when we need it. So it's a very smart individual.
Yes, that's him.
And he says, the people there were wonderful and honest. Philly, you have kept close to my heart. I was already an Eagles fan since the 1980s, so 2018 was a very special year, to say the least. Every morning, I'd listen to your morning show that week in Philly, one that the prim and proper Brits and the BBC hadn't the balls or talent to match. So I've listened ever since. No matter what the obstacles the internet has thrown in my way, you have a great team, and I love you all. Now extend to the privilege of listening to Bill as well. And he goes on to mention each one of us on the show and how much, he gave us kind of characterized
What did you say
each one
about
of us.
Kathy?
Okay. He says, and let's not forget the beautiful and intelligent Kathy and Marissa. You lucky guys. So to me, you have the best team in radio there. So he, acknowledges our
hygiene
Hall of Fame, not our hygiene, but Hall of Fame and all this stuff. So it's from Dr. Dan Johnson.
Wow.
And he's got his list of all his all of his accomplishments here at the bottom.
Why would someone that accomplished listen to us?
But he adds his degrees here that he's got, and then he adds it with ball sacks or yummy at the end. So a shout out, if you would, for Dr. Dan Johnson. Welsh listener at Stoke-on-the-Trent in England, but he was apparently a pioneer in those lithium batteries.
I love it.
I know you were in the general store, Preston, but we had toyed, or you had toyed with the idea of going to Liverpool when we went over for that broadcast for the Eagles game a few years ago. And I don't know anything about that part of the country except for, the Beatles coming from there. And, but I'd love to visit. Like
It's an industrial area.
Well,
yeah.
He had said he's never been to Liverpool. He's only like 40 miles from it. And he said if we ever come to England, he'll
you've got to go.
He'll go to Liverpool with you. You love that place,
Absolutely.
huh? Fall.
I'll take you around.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. We'll go to the Cavern Club.
Absolutely.
We'll have a little drink.
We just found a Toblerone factory behind a wall in the mall.
Wall in the mall?
Is that an English candy?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Toblerone's good.
Is it?
I guess
It's not
it's
as good as toffee.
It's got toffee in it.
Okay.
Yes.
It's got little chunks of
I
toffee.
don't even know what toffee is, but I do love toffee.
It's sugar on top of sugar.
Or is it just
man.
coffee and it's mispronounced?
I think it's Swiss Toblerone.
Is it?
Yeah, but they sell it in England.
They love it in England.
Yeah.
Yeah, that banoffee pie, that's an English dish. We can talk to Irvine about it, but that's got like a little bit of toffee in it. And I had that at the Punch Bowl, Preston, when we had dinner that night.
Yes. I remember. That's when we found out that pudding is another word for dessert.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right. We ready for something else? Yeah.
What is up, everybody?
All right. So we're going to mention this story. Airbnb announced a global ban on parties
I knew this was coming.
on Tuesday. It follows a temporary restriction that the company put in place 2 years ago.
A lot of these parties have made the news for getting out of hand at really, really expensive homes.
The company is permanently banning disruptive parties at events, which include open invite gatherings.
I mean, what owner would wanted these? Is that, you know what, rent my house and have a 300-person party?
Well,
no problem.
So I have never done this. Have you guys all rented Airbnbs?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm looking into it for a trip coming up, too.
So
I've never done it.
In the process, are there restrictions on...
Yeah, you have to. There's a few protocols that you follow, whatever. Steve, it's like standard stuff. It makes sense. And in my experience, there's been mostly hits. There were one or two misses, places I wouldn't go back. But we rented a house in Ithaca, New York a few years ago. It was great. I mean, it was fully stocked kitchen. It just made it easy, and that turned me on to how great this can be.
Wait,
we
fully stocked
rented. We rented.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes, fully stocked chicken. Okay.
Well, like drinks
Chicken.
and stuff.
Does this place have a fully stocked chicken?
Man.
I know.
It's great.
And that'll be the last time I'm going to give you that one.
That's the, like from Girl Interrupted. She had the eat-in chicken, if you remember.
Right.
It was Brittany Murphy. But no, I'm asking what Kathy's asking. Was there like food and stuff there? Like when you say fully stocked,
Yes.
like...
Wow, really?
I mean, you couldn't raid the bar, but like they set it up for you so you were comfortable while you were there, but you paid for it. It was
Was that clearly? So was it clearly specified? These are the areas.
Yes.
Like for example, do not touch the bar.
Don't touch the alcohol.
Okay,
I mean,
all right,
yeah,
all right.
and quite specifically, they're like, yeah, but anything that you would like in the fridge is fine.
That's
especially
wild.
the chicken.
Oh my God! It has a walk-in chicken.
Especially the chicken. Steve, I'll never do Airbnb again. No, I had a
Oh,
terrible
man.
experience. And the only way I would do it is if I have some friends who have properties that are listed on Airbnb. So I would trust them that their house was,
Okay. Good.
clean and
Right.
and ready for renters to come in. No, I had it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good.
So if you have a party and that is in direct contradiction to what the homeowner has requested in the parameters of the agreement, are you banned from Airbnb as it
that's a
currently
good question.
stands?
Maybe so. So apparently party houses, which people book to throw a large event for just one night will stay banned as well.
Okay.
Airbnb and other short-term rental platforms such as Vrbo or VRBO have struggled with party houses and large-scale events. Airbnb placed a ban on party houses and rolled out several safety features in 2019 after 5 people were killed in a shooting at one of its bookings. In 2020, the company instituted a global ban on all parties as the pandemic hit. And they said that since it implemented its policy in August of 2020, it's seen a 44% year-over-year drop in the rate of party reports. So they're going to make this permanent. Due to the way these companies operate, they can't always stop parties from taking place. Guests can sometimes check into remote properties themselves while the owner is away and can invite as many people over as they want. Airbnb said that guests who attempt to violate the rules, Steve,
All right, here we go.
will face consequences varying from account suspension to full removal from the platform. In 2021, for example, listen to this, 6,600 guests were suspended from Airbnb for violating its party ban.
So, quick question here then on that. So let's say you are an Airbnb, you are the person who's renting the property, you're the homeowner. Is there you have home security cameras, right? You can always use those to check in around your perimeter, right, to see if there's a party going, right? So, there's no restrictions on that. I wonder how you like a party like the one you're describing. That was one of the this massive thing.
Right.
How you don't get the alerts that this is happening.
We had looked into when we were shopping around for a beach property whether or not, because people will rent those out.
Right.
Obviously, started to look into the specifics of what you need to do to be a renter.
Right.
Man, there's a lot.
Too much, right?
It's a lot, and you have to secure it. Like your personal living space has to be secured and away, and you have to have storage area for personal items that you would have to put away every single time if you're going to be using it also as your own, residence too.
Well, you just put that in the chicken.
You can just stuff that all in the fully stocked chicken, and you'll be good to go. Hang on a second.
Have a large plastic chicken in your house.
I'm going to go to Zach. Hey, Zach, you're on the air. Good morning.
Sorry to bother you guys at work.
Nah, what's up, man?
Yeah, so I just called because we actually had our wedding at an Airbnb in May. And in the description, it actually says, like, no weddings, no bachelor parties or anything like that. But me and my wife were both a younger couple. I'm 24, she's 25.
Okay.
And we contacted the owner, and we were like, hey, like, we're just doing, like, a small wedding, like, less than 30 people. So we're able to kind of just, like, get it out of the way, to say the least.
And how receptive, Zach, were they initially when you mentioned this?
They were fine.
Okay.
They just didn't want to do it through Airbnb.
Oh.
So we actually did it through their real estate company that the property manager had, and we just kind of did it, like, contacted them through Airbnb. So I guess that's how they got around it.
Okay.
So it was actually great. It was down in Cape May, despite the 60-mile-an-hour winds that were that weekend. But, we made it work, and the house was phenomenal. With extra, and they were very, very open to it, and they were like, "Yeah, as long as the house is clean, like, do whatever you want."
Okay, so that's interesting. So that all came, and obviously you went the extra mile of apprising them of your intent for the use of the house. I think what this is meant to put the kibosh on, if I'm hearing this correctly, Preston, is the college guys who rent the place and then throw a massive kegger,
something like that. Yeah, I believe so. It's been happening a few times. Hang on a second here. Let me go to Nikki. Hi, Nikki. Good morning.
Good morning, it.
Good morning, Nikki. What's up?
Hey, I just wanted to mention, like, it's not just about, like, okay, there are these rules that if you violate this rule, you get banned or your account gets suspended. The hosts can give you ratings. Like, they can say this guest was crummy, like, in X, Y, Z way. That has nothing to do with, like, a bright line rule that they have. And if you have enough low ratings, like if you leave the place a little bit messy or if there are, like, crumbs under the table or something, if you have enough low ratings, other hosts don't have to accept it when you ask to rent their property.
All right.
So, like, that can sort of be a soft ban, like just make it really hard for you. It's kind of like Uber in that way, where the drivers can rate the passengers.
So it goes both ways. So, Nikki, there was a video that was floating around of a very aggressive Airbnb homeowner who was, like, just constantly insinuating herself into the renter's situation. Like, so I assume, like,
well, you as the renter
can rate them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was,
yeah, absolutely.
That was something that I didn't do after my not so great Airbnb because the person that I was speaking to, which I figured out later was probably just like a property manager.
Right.
I don't think he was the owner. He was so nice and was like, oh, okay, if there's any issues, let me know, blah, blah, and I was like, well, there's issue after issue, so like it was too much to
You don't
list.
want to get him fired.
But I almost felt bad giving the bad rating because he was so nice, but I did want people to know
your
the property
home
was
is
not
a crap hole.
Yeah.
By the way, we got a number of text messages from people who've had nothing but great experiences with Airbnb, and they
I know
continue to
people
do
swear by it. I'm leary of it because I don't want someone grabbing upskirts of me.
Well, I read the reviews and everything. Like I guess I'm a product of that because I didn't put a bad review on there.
All right. Well, anyhow, they're stopping the parties. So, all right. Now, this is kind of ties in with that story.
In the same aisle?
It's in the same aisle, yeah. Dolly Parton, the country star, is now taking reservations for overnight stays on her former tour bus, which is currently parked at her Dollywood Dreammore Resort and Spa in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Parton's beloved home on the road, known as Suite 1986, features hand-painted murals adorning the walls, jewel-toned fabrics, a bathtub, a full closet, and a custom wig cabinet.
And a Sibian, right?
Maybe there's a Sibian there. I don't really know.
I love that thing. It's like the best kind of rodeo.
She once said that the bus was her favorite home. She said, I have homes all over the United States, but my favorite place is the bus, because that way I can just feel those wheels rolling. She said, I'm a true gypsy at heart.
When you see like a really done-up tour bus, and you know, Preston, they can do them up, especially if you're in, a top level, a Dolly Parton level.
Yeah.
It's a rolling palace.
The tour bus can accommodate sleep for 2 guests, and reservations include a guest room in the resort that sleeps up to 4 additional guests, with a view of Parton's tour bus, and a premier dining experience for up to 4 guests.
Do you know anyone who's been to Dollywood?
I've never talked to anybody who's been to Dollywood. I hear the rides are great.
I really want to go.
Yeah, I hear that it's a legit, like they got some badass rides. So
I wonder if there's like a if you go to Disney World, you can stay in the Cinderella, the castle or whatever.
Yeah.
Is there like a Dolly Parton equivalent at Dollywood?
It's a good question. By the way, the Cinderella's castle thing.
Yeah.
No one can rent that. Like for no amount of money.
How do you get in there?
There's like a special charity giveaway type of thing.
Oh,
it's
wow.
the only way that they do it. And it's pretty amazing. We got to take a look in it. We got a tour one time when we went there, and it's pretty damn awesome.
Oh, I'd imagine.
Yeah. So, but a 2-night minimum booking on Suite 1986, her bus cost $10,000.
$10,000?
A portion of the proceeds will be donated to the Dollywood Foundation and Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, which helps provide educational resources for
Is it
children.
real or is it just a figment of your imagination?
I don't know.
By the way,
that's what they're saying.
That Imagination Library is fan freaking tastic.
What is it?
It's she started it. It's just to get books to kids. I mean, that's the goal. My family has used it to give books to other families. My brother told me about it a few months ago, and it's free books for anybody who wants them, needs them, and it's just another example of why Dolly is just the best.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to another section. We're going to We're going to go to the dairy aisle.
Oh, they have a big dairy aisle,
and I'll explain in a moment why this is. But there were congressional hearings on the toxic workplace culture of the Washington Commanders. And it's uncovered some acts from owner Dan Snyder. Aside from serious sexual harassment allegations.
Right, we know about those.
Former team chief operating officer David Pauken told the House Oversight Committee several instances that shine more of a negative light on Snyder. In his deposition, an incident in which Snyder ordered him to pour milk in the FedEx Field suite of Nationals principal owner Mark Lerner as payback for a business deal that disfavored Snyder. So they kind of vandalized his suite.
They filled it up with milk or just poured it?
They poured it. So the idea, here's what he said. He said, we completed a business deal with the Lerners that, in Dan's view, was way too much money to pay, but we needed the parking. And he said Dan wanted to see Mark Lerner's suite. And we go up there to the suite. It was a non-game day. Dan asked me to pour milk on the carpet under the seating in Mark Lerner's suite so that the suite would smell like sour milk when the Lerner family came in on game day.
Oh, Jesus.
And he said he had, and it's a redacted name, he had somebody do that on another occurrence. He said, so, and this is what he said in his deposition. So if you're asking me things that I regret doing, that would fall under that category. I owe Mark Lerner an apology, but I did it because Dan told me to do it. So it's just a petty little thing.
It's a good move, though, if you want to just sort of do something passively that'll end up annoying them. It's like putting the The shrimp.
Like a shrimp, frozen shrimp in somebody's car.
Right.
I think it was in what was Grumpy Old Men.
Right.
Walter Matthau, or one of them puts like a tiny
fish.
little fish in his car, and you just shove it under the seat somewhere, and it just slowly over time
starts to rot,
starts to stink, and they can't figure out where it is.
That movie's available on HBO Max right now, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Grumpy Old Men?
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen that one. Snyder declined to testify during the hearing, but he didn't have to for the picture to be painted unfavorably toward him, with the milk incident being part
Just
of
one more step
as well. Hang on, we're gonna double back for a second because we got a call about Dollywood. We're gonna go to Alex. Hi, Alex. Good morning.
Good morning, Ed.
What's up? Good morning, Ed. Alex, what's up, man?
What's going on? I've been to Dollywood a lot. Me and my family used to go we used to go every year when I was a kid.
Okay.
And we've been a few times in the past couple of years. But dude, Dollywood's awesome, man. It's a blast. Frozen lemonade. They have this cinnamon bread down there. It is to die for. It's ooey gooey, and you eat that while walking around the park. And the rides are fantastic.
So, can you compare it to other parks we might know? Where does it fall in the pecking order of against a Disney World or Six Flags
or Great Adventure? Yeah.
I like it. Feels like a small time kind of like mom and pop park.
Yeah.
But it's a lot bigger than that, and the the props and the rides are good, and you just have a blast there. You can't not have a blast.
And it's also it's in a hilly mountainous setting with trees and everything, right?
Yes.
Okay, that makes it pretty cool.
They have the fastest wooden coaster in the world that they put in a couple years ago.
Okay. We're looking at a roller coaster, Steve. It looks kind of like Nitro.
It looks awesome.
It's a Great Adventure.
It's only
it comes down the one mountain, and I think it has a top speed of over 70 miles an hour.
Wow.
Sweet.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it is situated in what is the town? It's
Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Pigeon Forge. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
It's only a few hours from Nashville. So
Cool. Thanks, Alex.
if I were to, I don't know, drive across the country and head towards Nashville, maybe I could pit stop it in
I don't think so.
Forge.
We had kind of hoped that we could get you to Dollywood as well.
Really?
Logistically,
Yeah.
it's too much.
Is it?
I think so, right?
It's 9 hours away. So
No,
if I left at 6 a.m., I could get there probably like 3 to 4 p.m.
All
How much time is he going to spend in the park?
Well, yeah, I mean, all of these things require juggling, but the two Tennessee pit stops we were hoping for or possibly planning for were Dollywood and Graceland on either end of the state.
Right. So maybe we'll work on that. But I would, I wouldn't mind going there. Sometime.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Can you broadcast from there? We can't go to any other. We're the only show in America that has not been to some freaking amusement park and broadcast.
That's not true. We've been to Hershey Park.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
I'm saying out of the state.
But then they dropped us.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about
I'm talking like out of the
Universal
state.
and Disney and stuff like that.
Right.
I know, man. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who had never been to Hershey Park, and I was like, dude,
come on, man.
That's a great place.
It's awesome.
I can't believe you never went there. We used to love being there. So,
but apparently, I don't know. Did we say something disparaging about chocolate?
I don't know. Maybe we would never do that. Never. All right. Let me find one more thing to mention. All right. So there was a scientific study that was done. It was in the Frontiers in Psychology journal, and revealed that friendships reflect classroom seat assignments. Students sitting next to or nearby one another were more likely to be friends with one another than students seated elsewhere in the classroom.
That's true. I think it also fosters friendships. So they're not saying you come in and you're going to gravitate where you're placed in your seating chart. You're probably going to strike up a friendship with people right around you.
You are more likely to be friends with the people right around you than someone. I remember being in a classroom and somebody being on the other end of the classroom, and I never really got to know that person.
They were dead to you.
Simply because of the distance. But the people right around you got to know.
Was your homeroom the same all 4 years of high school?
No.
We didn't have homerooms in high school.
Oh, you didn't?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Did not.
What do you mean the same? The same classroom?
No, okay. So when I went to high school, we had homeroom first. It wasn't a class. It was just...
Yeah, we did too.
Yeah, okay.
Like attendance and...
In high school you did?
Yeah, and that was by
that
alphabet.
ended in junior
My
high for me.
homeroom was my first period.
Oh.
So that would be so that it would start there. We get our announcements while we were in, whether it was math or whatever we were in. That would be our
Oh,
homeroom.
maybe that's what we had.
Okay.
We had homeroom. I mean, we had first
I don't
period,
remember.
which was a class, and then homeroom. And that's
you had
where we
homeroom.
But sometimes, Casey, people did not have that. Like they could schedule it in a certain way, so they didn't have first period. So they would have to be there for homeroom for attendance, and then their first period would actually be everybody else's second period.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because what would be the point of homeroom? The only reason I remember homeroom was
so you can learn how to homeroom.
Where was in grade school because that's where you were the absolute majority of the day.
Yeah,
I feel like I did have homeroom.
Yeah.
So what did you do? What did you do in
I don't know.
homeroom?
I have no idea. I don't remember. I just remember the classroom, and I remember my locker was right across from it. But what I don't remember is if I stayed there for class. I don't think I did.
Yeah, ours was literally like 5 or 10 minutes long, and then and that was it. It was attendance, but it was all alphabetical. So the people, the guy sitting in front of me was Brendan McGowan, and the lady sitting behind me was Claire McClellan, and that was it.
Yeah. So and
wasn't you're not supposed to talk about homeroom, right?
No, that's Fight Club.
Fight Club.
Yeah. So we had the same, people from I was going to say kindergarten, freshman year to senior year, where that first class where we would all meet for the announcements and
Okay. Well, anyway, the people that you sit around, they're saying, according to Brent Larson, the senior author and professor in psychology, said the students in our study spent most of every day with the same 15 or so classmates. By the middle of the school year, there were no unfamiliar peers. And then they explained how they went through doing the testing and all. It said, moreover, longitudinal analysis showed that classroom seating proximity was associated with the formation of new friendships. After seat assignments changed, students were more likely to become friends with newly near-seated classmates than those who remained or became seated farther away.
I hear that 100%. Now, worst place sometimes they let you pick your seat. Worst place to sit in a classroom.
Oh, right in front of the teacher's desk. Yeah, without question.
And so in Catholic school, all of our seats were always assigned. So so pretty much all 4 years, I basically sat in the same quadrant of the classroom, which
I'm going to guess towards the front of the class because of no.
I was usually second row, maybe 2 or 3 seats back.
I would have thought the teacher would have put Casey right in front of their desk so they could keep an eye on him.
No, man, I was very, very into school, Preston.
I think like an edge
Wait a
row
minute.
seat.
No, I was not.
I know.
No, but
if you're in the middle, a couple rows in, I think that kind of sucks. If you're out towards the edge of the if you're on an end row, that's the row you want. Yeah.
We even had basically assigned cafeteria seats. Wherever you sat that first day of lunch in that school
What
year.
if you slipped the lunch lady like a fin?
No, I mean, you that's the table you had to sit because one person was responsible for cleaning your table every week.
I'm sure you could find me something closer to the vending machine.
George Washington here says, I'm sitting up in front.
Now we could sit. I remember in grade school, that was it. That's when we had assigned
there's
seating.
Something by the meatloaf.
But after that, it was free for all. You'd sit wherever you want.
That's the way it was with us.
Sometimes eat in hallways and stuff like that. And, so
my senior year was a real coup for me. I got to sit at the cool kids table of my senior year.
I thought you'd sit with the Pat Benatar kids.
No,
in Fast Times at Ridgemont.
No, but I was like, oh man. I sat all the way at the end of the cool kids table, but I got to sit at the cool kids.
You made it.
Yeah.
You made it.
I did.
Wow.
I did it.
All right. Anyhow, so that's just the last bit of information, the last item I have up for sale.
And you can buy all this stuff.
You can.
Yeah.
Stop by the odds and ends store sometime, the general store, if you will, and see us, because we'll have something you're looking for, guarantee you. In the meantime, get the hell out of my shop, all right? That's
Time for you to go. I'll see you later.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day. And
there it goes. Bye-bye.
In his wagon with his dead horse.
Bajmir. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back in a second. Bizarre File stories are up next, so hang out, won't you please?
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Your chew toy? Did you lose your chew toy? It's under the sofa. Yeah. Wait right here. Daddy needs to go kill the reporters. Yes, I know.
Talking.
Yeah. Get up in the living room window. You want to see Daddy kill the bad men?
Yeah, that's right. Sets him up where he's got a nice view of the street.
I'm doing this for you.
Yeah.
2, 3, and I'll do it along with you. In that back of that fence, just the 3 of us, 4 of us, me and you.
4, 5. I tell you what, call some of the family members. Bring them out here too.
Show you what kind of a man you are. You're less than a man.
You're a less man.
Okay, you're a crumb creep.
A crumb creep.
You're a moon creep pie creep crumb. You're creep brulee. That's what you are.
Creep brulee.
Yeah. As if someone's taken one of them little torches and fried the top of your head into like a caramelized sugary thing. You are creep brulee. You know what you like? You like one of them fancy desserts with the thin shell on top, but underneath you just pudding. Just pansy pudding, creep crumb, pansy crumb, creep creme, crumb, brulee creep creme. With sugar on top.
At this point, they've just shut up.
They just let them know.
Because they are like, we are getting gold right now. Just let this roll.
Put that on camera. You're a crumb bum, the 3 of you, and I challenge you.
He wouldn't talk earlier. I'm not talking to you, right? I'm not talking to you. And now, Stan Bowman hasn't said anything for like 5 minutes.
He actually fell asleep. What are you, Stan? Are you asleep?
Wake up.
I'm sorry, I had a long night. Where did your dog go? I put him inside, didn't you see? There he is, in there looking in the window there.
Just me.
Mayor Rizzo,
You're a crumb creep coward. You can't take. You won't stand up to him.
I'm standing up. We're not here to fight. We're here to get some answers to some questions. That's all.
I want to fight you.
Why is that?
Because you're a crumb creep lush coward.
You don't.
Crumb creep.
He keeps adding on.
Lush coward.
It started with 1. Then 2.
And
Now
you're a Methodist.
Now he's up to 4.
What?
He's up to 4.
I don't know. I'm running out of desserts and various disgusting things.
Are you keeping a list? Do you know, like, okay, you're a crumb, you're a creep.
Wait a second here.
You're yellow.
I keep a list for things like this. You are a jackass crumb, creme, creep, cram, crumb. Oh, that's the wrong list. That's the potential dog names.
Thinking about getting another one, huh?
It was in
Wait, hold on a second. Honey, where's my reported bad name list? It's in the closet. No, I looked in there. I was looking for the dog's chew toy. I'll get back to you. What's your number? Give me a number.
By the way, Mercy.
I remembered it.
By the way,
he gets a call late at night.
No, he calls him back later on.
Better call this guy up. Yeah. You're a yellow crumb snake.
Have a lovely
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Have a lovely evening.
For that creep.
Oh, you creme crumb creep cram. You're an apple crumb creep cake. A moron. Yeah, that wasn't that good.
Scratch that one off.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's.
I think when I try to do French desserts, it doesn't work out. I'll stick with the German stuff.
Oh my God.
I'm glad we revisited that.
Oh my God, I'm getting tears on my glasses here. Do you remember the squirtable butter used to come in a thing?
Yeah, butter spray.
Is that what?
I
No,
can't
not
believe it's
spray,
not
not
butter.
spray.
There's an actual like liquid, almost
Really?
like
liquidy
like the way you
butter.
dispense mustard.
It was
don't
more
remember
back in the 80s probably, and if you had a waffle, you could go blink, 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 blink in each little.
Okay. I had a waffle.
Each little
I'd eat it
crevice.
in the morning.
Yeah,
there we go.
Do you
Parkway.
need butter in every little square?
You do.
If you're
you're a man.
If you're a man. No.
Okay.
No, I obsess about little things like that.
Okay.
It's just like weird.
So your answer is yes, you do.
Yeah, I have a butter memory with Preston that is probably 19 years old. Do you know what it is?
Butter memory.
Preston, do you remember the butter memory?
That's probably 19 years old.
19 years old.
Memories. You would have to butter memories. You would have to give me a hint.
Me, you, Steve, and Marilyn.
Wow.
that wraps it up.
Butterfest,
We did a show
1998.
for 3 years together.
Media Court Diner.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
You know the butter memory?
Yeah.
Oh, well, do tell.
So we're sitting there, and it's after we had done a show, and we're having lunch, and
we're all just getting to know each other, by the way.
Yeah, we're all getting to know each other, and so they had a little ramekin full of butter, which is a small dish. And so I guess it was a ball of butter or something like that. And we're just talking, and I just reach out and grab it and just squish it with my hand, just to be outrageous,
provocative.
I'm like, ooh, butter, and I did that, and he died laughing. So.
I was like, what? I wish I would have done that. That looked fun.
Butter memories.
But if I owned a diner and
I dine in the morning,
and I was serving waffles, there would be a special little spray that I would put melted butter in so that you could go.
You would keep it like you could even have it as you could have the way you have a mug warmer where your butter could be on it and with the pump so that you could dispense that way.
Now it would need to be more like misty,
like a fire hose.
No, like
a spray bottle,
like a spray bottle, like you would spray your indoor plants.
Like a spritz.
I disagree. I think that the butter, like the spray butter, you're lessening the quality of the butter product. And if you're going to have like actual butter, you're going to need to have like a vat of melted butter. This is your diner, so I'm not trying to tell you how to run your business.
You open your own diner next door with your normal boring pats of butter.
I kind of want to work with you, like almost like as if I was your therapist, and to make you okay with not having butter in every square. Like it's all right.
No, I know.
It's still going to taste good. You're going to get enough butter.
Believe me, I've
Touchstone Pictures. He had to have butter in every square until a concerned therapist came into his life. My name is Romano. I think I can help you.
Then we need some good music, like
yes,
Peter
inspiring.
Gabriel,
Salisbury Hill.
Salisbury Hill. Yeah. See if you can pull that. So the serious part when he realizes he has a problem.
Oh no, I can't even get it together anymore. Every time I go into the diner, I start trembling like crazy. I think I know someone you can talk to. And then she came into his life. My name's Romano, and today's the day we start making changes. From Touchstone Pictures, the story of a boy who learned now how to not have butter in every square of his waffle. Butter squareless waffle boy.
Butter squareless waffle boy.
Or something to that effect.
It's a butter therapist.
I feel like I already went through this with Jace. Like at breakfast time. It's okay, honey.
Unbutterable.
Is that the name of the movie?
Yeah.
I'm doing it!
I just recently had some butt issues the other day, man.
Packing a flounder, didn't you?
Packing a flounder.
I told Casey about it. I had to make what my friend calls a butt tampon out of toilet paper.
Oh, yes.
By
We've
the
all
way,
been there.
What?
We've all been there.
No,
Really? No, we haven't.
No, we haven't.
No, we have not all been there.
Not Kathy. Come to say you call it swamp ass.
Yeah.
You call it a visit from your friend.
Oh, and she and Kathy always insists that it's because
Just take
of
a shower.
My hygiene. That's not
You
it.
are dirt. Your ass is dirty.
It's from cleaning too much.
There, he's right.
You rub it raw.
He's right. You
That's what
rub it raw.
happened.
Yes.
No, just get in the shower. That
do this-
clean,
I do
not
it.
wipe with toilet paper.
No. Kathy did, and it's painful.
I don't believe you.
Oh my God! You can just suck it.
Here's the deal. So I can tell you, I have a spotless butt. I'm telling, spick and span. But sometimes I tend to overclean.
Yes. Thank you, Steve.
Yes.
We worked together for 20 years, and
You never know.
You never know.
I apologize for never turning around and parting my cheeks to show you.
Preston, you told me about packing a flounder the other day.
That's what it's called, by the way. Somebody years ago told us, my friend used to call that packing a flounder.
What? Putting
toilet
the
paper
tissue in.
between your butt cheeks.
Yeah, it's a butt tampon.
To help to keep the chafing down.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're pre-med, keep listening because this is valuable information.
But I just have a question for you because you were telling me
that hadn't happened in years, by the way.
Right.
Yeah. I had an issue with it the other day, and it's all better now. I'm great.
There you go.
Go ahead.
And we do share a lot of intimate information.
Of
with
course
each
we
other.
do.
But you had told me this packing the flounder thing, and I was thinking about it later on in the day because it had a tone as if you thought
It was wistful.
As if you thought I have packed a flounder before.
No, I just remember you finding it funny.
Okay.
I remember you finding that particular phrase funny, and that's why I brought
It is a funny phrase.
Yeah.
But I've yet to pack a flounder.
Okay. Well, count yourself lucky, sir.
Yeah, all right.
Because it's not a fun experience.
Few the proud.
I woke up in the middle of the night and did it. I told you that. Yeah, I went to the restaurant.
It can be quite uncomfortable.
I'm going to pack a flounder now.
Yes.
And I did, and it helped, and it worked.
You know what? You're missing a product here, and Preston's flounders.
Yeah. Preston's, there's a little alliteration there with the P, packing a flounder. Preston's, but I need flounder packer, maybe something like that.
Preston's fantastic flounder packer. It's kind of like like an alliterative sandwich with the P's on the outside and the F's in the middle.
Yeah, I like it.
Fantastic flounders and how to pack them.
I like that too.
It's a little long.
Yeah, it is.
Please welcome of Simple Minds, Mr. Jim Kerr.
Yeah.
Very kind of you. Thank you very much. A real pleasure to be here.
And by the way, Jim Kerr, I believe, is actually how you pronounce your last name, correct?
You got it right. In Glasgow, they would say that.
In Glasgow.
Here, they say more kind of Kerr, which is nice.
Yeah.
But we're a bit hard on the E, Kerr.
It reminds you where you are, I guess, when you hear your name pronounced a certain way.
Well, my mother's favorite actress was Deborah Kerr.
That's a good choice.
Nice compliment.
There you go.
I would like to, I'm going to start by throwing a lot of love your way. Your performance, and I'll get right to the song that broke the band in the United States, Don't You Forget About Me. Your performance of that particular song means so much to me. 1986, around that range, was when I was a senior in high school. The Breakfast Club, the film had come out, and it just spoke directly to a person like me. The song was such a huge part of the emotional impact of that film, and it has now become my almost... It's tangible, the emotion that I feel when I hear the song. It takes me back to that time in my life that was so important in my own personal development. I'm actually getting a little choked up here when I'm talking. And you were the passion in your voice. Now, I'm probably going to overuse the word passion as we talk to you, Jim, because that's how I always categorize you. Hi, it's brought to you this morning by Rita's Water Ice. Get to Rita's, grab a 5-layer gelati. It's back for a limited time only. And the Rita's 5-layer gelati is more ice, more custard, and more yum. Security staff aboard the Carnival Magic cruise ship asked the U.S. Coast Guard for assistance in the early hours of the 28th of June as 40 to 60 passengers became embroiled in a dance floor fight around 5:20 in the morning.
Like a massive brawl.
It's unclear what caused the incident, though it is said to have started as a fight between two passengers. The Coast Guard launched a boat from Staten Island to escort the cruise ship to its home dock in Manhattan. Members of the NYPD were on standby when the ship docked, and passengers disembarked from the ship as normal at the end of an 8-day cruise that included stops in Dominica, Turks and Caicos, and a private island in the Bahamas.
Do you think it started as a dance-off?
May very well. Those can get aggressive.
They can get aggressive.
No statement was released on whether anyone involved in the brawl has been arrested, nor have officials released any information on which authority will be investigating the incident, as it is unclear at this stage whose jurisdiction it falls under, the NYPD, New Jersey Police, or another authority if the fight occurred when the ship was still in international waters. In a statement, Carnival said last night, while Carnival Magic was returning to New York, a number of guests were involved in an altercation in a nightclub. Thankfully, no serious injuries were reported, and our onboard security team intervened. Kirstie Allsopp, who is a TV show presenter in the UK, has explained how she managed to swallow one of her AirPod earbud headphones on Sunday morning. The presenter had revealed on Twitter that she had ingested the AirPod after mistaking the small white listening device for a gigantic vitamin tablet.
I can see that.
She posted a photo of an AirPod sitting amongst a pile of vitamins in an attempt to justify the mix-up. She said, "See, not quite as daft as some might say," she wrote. Apparently, Allsopp only realized that she had eaten her own earbud by the process of elimination upon noticing that one of the AirPods had gone missing. She wrote, "AirPods in pocket, put vitamins in pocket while getting glass of water, chuck vitamins in mouth, gulp water for a second. See one AirPod in hand, check pocket, check handbag, realize there's only one place it could be. She assured her followers that apart from a sore throat, she feels fine from what she called the banana skin moment.
Earlier that morning, she had brushed her teeth with a dildo.
Oh,
yeah, which is crazy.
Mistakes happen. A man from New York has been severely mauled by a grizzly bear while hiking alone at high altitude in Wyoming. The attack took place on Monday with a hiker injured on Frank's Peak.
Welcome to Wyoming.
The 68-year-old man who has not been identified was on a multi-day trip when he was attacked. An investigation into the attack was ongoing, and it appeared to have been a, quote, surprise encounter.
So as you hike and you're by yourself, you're always supposed to have a whistle in your mouth or do something to create noise. I wonder how many people actually adhere to that.
I don't know if it's coincidence or not, Preston, but it seems like you have more of these stories this year than in years past.
Yeah.
The bear attacks.
Yep. So they said it was a surprise encounter between the individual and a grizzly
I was
bear.
waiting for you. I saw you coming. Did I scare you? Now I'm going to eat you.
The injured man has been described as an
Dude,
out-of-state...
you look so funny. You fell backwards. You were so scared. Now I'm going to kill you.
Just to let you know. Oh, there you look scared again.
Oh, look at you. You're going to piss. Oh, you're pissing yourself. Where's my camera?
So they described him as an out-of-state recreationist who was hiking at high altitude when he came into contact with the animal. The encounter happened too suddenly for him to deploy the bear spray that he was carrying. Both grizzly and black bears inhabit the state of Wyoming. Monday's distress call was received by the Park County Sheriff's Office. Due to the reported elevation, responders initially thought it had come from a downed aircraft, so he was up really high. The source of the call was determined to be a personal locator beacon, and a medical helicopter was launched. Responders found the severely injured man, and he was transported for treatment. It's amazing that he survived. The bear didn't finish the job.
Because that's
and I guess
usually
it
what
left.
happens.
I guess it left him. You know.
I'm full. I'm sorry.
The whole notion, when you see a comparison of your average size human male next to a grizzly bear, how anyone could survive that is miraculous.
Yep. A tip led investigators to seize 14,000 pounds of illegal fireworks in Azusa, California on Monday. The fireworks were being stored at a home and a storage facility, and where investigators also found and seized over $10,000 in cash and an illegal firearm.
Calm down. It's completely safe.
Equipment used for making explosives were also found inside the home. 27 homes were evacuated while the explosives were recovered and disposed. Yeah, it was a lot. And investigators had been serving a search warrant at the home when they discovered the large cache of explosives. One person was detained, and the investigation into the possession and sale of illegal fireworks is ongoing. Fireworks are illegal in L.A. County's unincorporated communities and in many cities countywide because of the brush fires, house fires, millions of dollars in damage and injuries, and even death that they may cause.
I've noticed, and there was a piece in the Inquirer about fireworks in this season. It seems that they can sell a lot more than they have in previous years. Different varieties. Are you seeing that too, Case?
We do.
It's pretty wild. I guess they've expanded the menu items.
Residents are encouraged to report any illegal fireworks to law enforcement. One last story. A man was arrested Monday after attempting to shoplift 11 cases of beer from Safeway, according to the Seattle Police Department. At about 9:38 a.m., officers responded to a report of a man walking into a Safeway with his own cart. He loaded 11 cases of beer onto his cart and then attempted to leave the store. A security guard confronted the man, but the man told the security guard if he didn't get by, the guard would be pepper sprayed. So the security guard backed off. The man left the store without paying for the beer. And then listen to this. When officers arrived, he was trying to get on a Metro bus with 11 cases of beer.
Okay. It's free 11 cases of beer Tuesday.
He was arrested and booked. I don't know if you know how heavy cases of beer are. I mean, I like carrying 2 cases of beer is a chore. 11, just throwing that on a bus, have fun with that. All right, and that is what I have in the bizarre file for now. Let us take a break, and we'll be back in a little bit. Don't forget that Robert Irvine will be joining us. He's doing an event tonight at the Mashulu, so we'll get you the details when he joins us around 9. We're going to break and be back in a moment. Stay with us. A lot of the other things that were on the radio at the time. And so, number one, I want to thank you. And I know that song wasn't written by you or your bandmates, but I think what you did with it just went above and beyond.
It's the performance.
And surpassed what that song really was.
Well, it's an honour to have any song that means so much to people, but particularly with that song, we are aware in the States, actually elsewhere, that song and the movie meant so much, not only to that generation, but amazingly subsequent generations as well seem to have. It still seems those John Hughes movies, he really hit a nerve. And I know what you mean in the sense that, I'm a music fan as well, and there's still, it's an amazing thing with music. Even more than film, I think, and photographs, you hear certain songs and it takes you back to a place. It takes you to the very emotion.
Most definitely.
And there are certain songs that do that for me. For me, it was always radio in my mother's house. There's certain songs I hear, I can actually feel we called it Formica table, this cheap, this cheap breakfast table, because, the radio was there. We listened to radio breakfast, as everyone does here.
Yeah.
And there are certain songs I can actually feel, I'm right at the table. And I get a little teary about that as well.
Oh, my God. It's so true.
It's so powerful. And I'm curious, here I am, a chance to meet you and say thank you in person and so forth. And you've had a tremendously successful career. Have you ever had a chance to speak to someone a la David Bowie and say, that song meant so much to me? And do you feel a little odd saying that? Because I know you've heard it so many times, and I don't know if it gets old to you or not, and I feel a little embarrassed that I'm saying all this to you.
Well, you bet. I mean, whenever I'm not cool when I meet people that have meant a lot to me, whether it's sports stars or rock stars or whatever, or movie. I just go up and say, "You're amazing," and But some of them kind of don't want to talk about it or something. Have you ever found that? Where you get that, and someone's just kind of went, "Yeah, whatever."
Well, and it's confusing
to it. It is confusing when that happens.
Well,
but
we've talked about this, Jimmy. It's sort of a liability when you meet people who've meant a lot to you. And then we use the phrase, "They were them." They were exactly who you wanted them to be.
Yeah.
And it's like the ultimate when you get the person you hope they would be. Not everyone can be that, or some people, sort of have sort of a jaded view, or they'll kind of frown upon what got them to the dance.
Or they're self-conscious or something.
Right, and for whatever reason, and you'd almost rather keep the illusion than the actual reality. But when they do sync up and you get both, it's fantastic.
Well, I can talk about both for a minute, because as some of you might know, I was married to Chrissy Hine.
Yes,
Chrissy's the greatest. I mean, she's just the greatest.
Well, I'll Stand By You that's my wife. That's our wedding song. Yeah,
you guys now share a grandchild together.
We do indeed.
Yeah. Congratulations.
And yet Chrissy, she would be the first to say, when anyone goes up to her in the street and goes, "Wow, Chrissy, she kind of goes right in her shell, and she kind of doesn't know what to say, and it comes across as being cold." Mm-hmm. And then she will regret that for the rest of the week. Genuinely, she'll say, "Oh, I met that person," and they must think, well, I won't tell you what she says, but she doesn't mean it like, she just gets kind of, whereas Charlie Burchill, my songwriting partner and guitar player in Simple Minds, we were beyond fortunate last week in New York because we had a night off, and I'm sure you're aware Springsteen was playing on Broadway, and
so cool.
Just to get tickets to see the show was enough to be 20 yards from him, where he's standing with an acoustic playing Born to Run, and the spit was almost touching us. In fact, we were running towards it. And then afterwards, we didn't know this. Afterwards, as we were about to leave, someone came out and said, John Landau, as Bruce's manager, would let you go back. And I'm sure no one will be surprised to hear me say that, Bruce was just amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, he just wanted to talk about music, and he wanted to talk about a book that he'd written, of which the show is based on, of which we've all read. And it was great to have someone as comfortable.
You love that. Did he relay any particular level of was he citing some of your work, or because he clearly,
Well, he's so generous. We had played in New Jersey the night before.
Okay.
I think John had told him that, and we played, so we're in his hood. And he had just spent time on stage saying how he had a love-hate with New Jersey. All he wanted to do was get out of there, hence Born to Run and all that. But, of course, he's still there. But he knew we'd played, and he was asking about the band and all that stuff. We have a few friends in common. Steve Van Zandt. We did a lot of things with Steve back in the day.
And the Sun City,
the Sun City thing, and also Jimmy Iovine, who produced Born to Run. he just produced a track that you played there, Alive and Kicking, and so, you know, we'd met Bruce before as well. So
I think, and it's the truth, that the people who, you know, I love when film directors come in here and they're fans of other directors. Because you clearly you just at a core have a passion for music.
That's right.
So you are a fan of other musicians. Yeah. And I think that informs your ability to be a great musician, you know?
I would think so. I would think, you know, I think if you're in love with something, you know, it must be. Listen, if you've got a job that you love, no matter what that job is, you've won the lotto, because we know what it's like if you don't like your job.
Yes.
So if you're passionate about it, I mean, even today we're going to go along to the theatre 4:30 this afternoon. We're going to work on other stuff, songs that we want to bring into the set as the tour progresses.
That's great.
We're always chopping and changing. I'm excited about that, and it's only a sound check.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about, Jim, yours and Simple Minds' history in Philadelphia. You played Live Aid here. From what I understand, you were the first band that was approached to play the Philadelphia show.
Well, certainly I remember getting the call from Geldof at the time, and it was amazing. You know, it was a great honor to be asked, and of course, although obviously we're from the other side of the pond, at the time the song that you mentioned, Don't You Forget About Me, was really climbing high in the Billboard charts, and Bob said, you know, you got to do it in Philadelphia. We were only too happy. We were en route anyway to come here and record. But I don't think any of us were aware that all these years later that, you know, in terms of rock and roll anyway, it's still the historical event is our generation's Woodstock. Joan Baez, I think, alluded to that when she opened. That was her. But when you see now, even now when I see the numbers that were there in the stadium's no longer there. Yeah.
Was that day fairly chaotic?
And the way you would expect. I mean, I was talking outside. I mean, everyone was there. You know, I mean, it was a whole. The great thing was, I brought across my dad.
Oh wow!
He'd never been in the States before. And he was wearing a bright yellow Scotland T-shirt. So I thought, how can you lose him? He's wearing a bright yellow. They said, how can you lose him? There are 120,000 people out there. But I saw him because he was wearing this.
The bright yellow Scotland T-shirt,
yeah. And he said to me, come here, I want to introduce you to this guy. I want to introduce you. Who's here? Now you think, you know, Madonna was there and Tina Turner and Mick Jagger and all that. And we went round. And there was this guy sitting on his amplifier, just strumming away. Total dignity. Bo Diddley.
Bo Diddley.
And my dad said to me, Bo Diddley, if it wasn't for him, there would be no Live Aid.
Legendary,
there would be no rock and roll. If it wasn't for these guys. And of course, he was right. So, memories like that come to the forefront.
You mentioned Jimmy Iovine, and I saw the special on HBO about him, The Defiant Ones, and he talked about producing Born to Run and how frustrating it was because Bruce was such a perfectionist when it came to putting that record. And eventually somebody had to tell Jimmy, it's not your record, Jimmy, it's Bruce's. Let Bruce do what he needs to do. What was it like for you guys working with him?
I mean, we've been so lucky. We worked with Jimmy, Bob Clearmountain, Trevor Horn, Steve Lillywhite, all these people. But Jimmy just had this way. It's funny because I can tell the jury was out. Some of the people around us didn't quite get Jimmy.
Really?
Because Jimmy was more a kind of ringmaster. He couldn't go in and tell you technically what was wrong or what was right. It was all feel. And he had a great kind of meter on him with that. That feels great. That's where you should be. But he made you feel great. And if you felt great, then you're gonna perform. He gave you confidence. And I in some ways we've never met anyone like Jimmy in that sense. He would be, you know how in sports you get a coach, I say this, that make journeymen believe they're much better than they are.
Right.
Jimmy did that to us.
It would seem like some producers are more musicians and some guys are more directors. And when it comes to instructing a band, and he seems like more the director kind.
I'll tell you a funny story about it, and this is the way he is too, because Alive and Kicking, we'd put together the demo. See, we were all a bit we were all a bit weirded out with the success of Don't You Forget About Me, because it become this kind of colossal thing, the movie and MTV, and everyone was all over it.
It was just a confluence of things going on. Yeah.
And Jimmy was like, what are you going to do to follow it up? It's a monster. What are you going to do? And we were like, I don't know. Relax. We'll come up with something. And so we came up with this, basically the structure for Alive and Kicking. He's like, that's great. Get it down. That's going to be amazing. And we all felt that. But I had done a guide vocal, kind of sketch lyrics.
Yeah.
That I meant to come back and finish off. And the first line, and it's, you turn me on. So I got to do it for real. And I changed the line to something else. And he goes, hang on a minute. Where's you turn me on? I said, you can't sing with you turn me on. That's terrible. That's garbage. You turn me on. I won't be able to go home to Glasgow if I sing that. People will just rip the out of me. And he went, you're going to change that? And I said, yeah. And he went, my wife loves it. All Vicky's friends love it. Everyone loves it. You can't change it. I said, I'm changing it. And he starts taking out his car keys and his house. He says, here, take them, because I'm going to lose my house. Here, you're going to cost me a fortune. You're going to cost me a fortune. You're going to cost. And he was kind of half serious.
Yeah.
So it stayed.
Hey, listen.
And it kind of works.
It works. It works.
It works as long as I don't think about it.
But it's funny because you as the artist are going to be hypercritical, and it's something that we have to think about, even on our level of just doing what we do.
Yeah.
Like program directors or whatever, listen with different ears.
Yeah.
And the hardest thing, I think, and probably what distinguishes a good producer who is able to produce hits, listens as the consumer hears it.
Yeah. Well, in my head, if you're Marvin Gaye, you can sing You Turn Me On. Right. If you're some little white nerdy guy from Glasgow with freckles gone, You Turn Me On. It's creepy. But not according to Jimmy.
You were a tad bit nerdy, Jim.
A bit nerdy, yeah.
But that's why Chrissy Hines seems like when you guys got together, I remember thinking, wow, she's like the leather rock chick, and this guy, that's kind of wild.
Bit off a bit more than I could chew. But you got to give me kudos for
thumbs up
for daring to dance.
yes, absolutely. Jim, it's an honor to meet you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks, all of you.
Our pleasure.
Yeah, Jim Cara, guys. On the Preston and Steve Show.
The only raccoons they like food.
Okay.
So it doesn't,
doesn't matter.
I had them eating goldfish crackers out of my hand.
That's right.
Remember, Robbie?
Wait, you fed him out of your hand?
I told you this story many times.
We heard this story thousands of times.
Yeah, but hang on. Was it while he was in a trap?
No.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was not.
Didn't you? We were playing golf one time.
That was during the day.
And we saw
that was
one,
a mangy-looking thing.
Dude, don't go near that thing.
Yes.
And here you are feeding this one by hand.
Well,
hypocrite.
That time, Preston, I was dead sober. B, it was a mangy-looking thing, and C, it was in the middle of the day.
Okay.
When I had this thing eating out of my hand, I had just gotten back from a wedding. It was late at night. I went outside.
You were feeling good.
Yeah, and we had developed it was a quick bond.
You had an understanding.
How was the wedding?
Yeah. I was like, man, it was a really good time. Do you want some goldfish?
Do I know them? Is his family or is his friends?
No, you don't know them.
I have to say I'm a little peckish. I'd love to talk to you, but I'm not thinking straight.
Hang on.
Can you hook me up?
Yeah, I got some goldfish. You want some goldfish?
Oh, bingo.
Okay, hang on a
Love
second.
it. Yeah, you go get those and I'll find us a place to sit.
Comes back, he's smoking a cigarette.
Hey.
God, look at that sky.
What did I tell you?
Never leaving Delco.
Those things are going to kill you.
I know. It's my one thing, though,
Gotta have a vice.
Gotta have a vice. I don't drink. But taking a cool drag on a night like that.
Diarrhea and stuff like that, but I didn't take the time to look up what pancreatitis is all about. Not pancreatitis, pancreatitis.
Yes.
And I didn't know if something like that is life-threatening or anything, or I'm not really sure.
I think it can be.
I feel like
any of the itises.
Yeah, no. I feel like we had a family friend who had it, and it was really, really dire and bad for this guy. He ended up making it, but I'm pretty sure that's what he had, and he was young too. He was, I think, in his 30s at this point.
Okay, all right. So yeah, they took him away, and but I don't know what the story is now on him, but
they feel that it might about it might have been exacerbated or connected to a colonoscopy. he just had, which I don't understand.
No. Okay, so Nick pulled up some info on this, and this is severe acute pancreatitis, which we don't know if he has this or not, but can cause organ failure, necrosis, infected necrosis, pseudocyst. Oh, this all sounds great. And abscesses.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And
I'll have some of that.
It has a mortality rate of around 2 to 9%. So if it's really bad and there's necrosis, you can pass away from it.
Wow. Okay. I feel bad for the guy, man. Especially.
Well, they appear to have caught it, and obviously, hopefully, they're giving him the best medical care. She's at Sinai right now, right?
Yeah.
Sinai?
Marissa?
Preston, I'm not a doctor, but I did date one once.
Oh.
And he said I remember he was actually studying the pancreas as we were dating, and he said it's one of the hardest things to treat. And he described it to me like when you're treating it, it feels like applesauce.
That a pancreas, it's the actual organ feels like applesauce?
Yeah, like it's kind of like...
Could you replace the pancreas with a baggie filled with applesauce?
Well, Steve, you can do that when you're baking. Instead of putting butter and eggs
You can use
and oil,
pancreas,
you can use applesauce.
Do you have some pancreas I can borrow?
This is incredibly good. What is that apple? No, it's pancreas.
Didn't he also lick your face?
Knew you were going to say that.
Oh,
Kathy.
my
I'm
God,
looking
that's
at
the
you,
guy?
And I was like, I know exactly what she's going to say.
He licked your face?
That's not the...
He used to lick her face as like a...
No, it was like once.
Okay.
Oh, all
Man,
right.
you taste like
But it was like
pancreas.
he was like trying to be nice.
You
and
taste
sweet,
like
right?
pancreas.
You're going to feel this all the way in your pancreas.
Can I toss your pancreas?
We were at a club that none of us really wanted to be at. But do you remember the Questlove was spinning at that club when we were there?
No.
It was pancreas night.
Yeah.
Trying to divert this conversation.
Hey, how about them
That's all I
pills?
remember about
How
the
about them pills?
I'll bring it back to the pancreas, Marissa, because I don't know, and I'm not a doctor either, but I don't know the difference between pancreatic cancer and pancreatitis. But I know that pancreatic cancer, it can just be amongst the most deadly.
It is.
And
It's because it's not detectable.
Right. And so I believe it was, Alex Trebek passed away from that. And my former mother-in-law, she got a diagnosis, and like several months later, she had passed away. So it's just one of these things where, like, I don't know if pancreatitis leads to pancreatic cancer or if there's a link there. And I would like to know.
All right, well, hang on a second. I got Dana, who had pancreatitis. Hi, Dana. Good morning.
Hey, it's Pip Freak's wife.
Oh, nice. Thanks for joining us, Pip Freak's wife.
Hey. Good
Hey.
morning.
Good.
So just to clarify, pancreatic cancer and pancreatitis are completely unrelated.
Okay.
Because we've had that in my family, so it was a big freak out. But yeah, I was diagnosed with pancreatitis back in 2015. Essentially what happens is the enzymes in your liver and your pancreas go crazy, and the pain it's pretty unbearable. My pancreas had swollen to like what felt like the size of a football.
Wow.
And there was no, the only time I got comfort was when I was in the ER, and they gave me Dilaudid. But yeah, it is no joke. And most of the time it is caused by, it's really only common in older men who are heavy drinkers. And have like high cholesterol, really bad diet, blah, blah, blah. I was in my 20s and I was pretty in shape at the time. So they didn't know what was causing it. And I couldn't eat solid food for like 2 months, obviously no alcohol. And it kind of had to resolve itself. But I ended up in the emergency room because of it twice and spent a week in the hospital each time just on fluids to try to get the inflammation down. It sucks.
So if you've had it, are you more likely to get it?
That I don't think so.
All right.
Because like I've been fine ever since. Like it cleared itself up in like early 2016, and I've been pretty good ever since.
What's a treatment for? They give you antibiotics or something like that?
No, there's nothing. There's nothing
it's one of those.
Yeah, it's literally
Drink a lot of
just-
O'Douls.
Yeah, they stick you with give you fluids, IV fluids, try to flush everything out and reduce the inflammation, and then it is a matter of just kind of watching your diet, making sure you're not eating anything really high in fat and stuff like that.
Glad you got past that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
that
Thank
sounds
you,
painful.
Dana.
I
Tell
don't like
Pip Freak
that.
we said hi.
Yeah.
All right.
I will. Take care.
All right. See you later. Wow.
It's
okay.
not odd, though, apparently, that he got this after a colonoscopy.
Okay.
It's not common, but it does happen.
Okay.
I take out pancreatitis insurance every time I get a colonoscopy.
That's probably a good idea.
I'm sorry. Is there an actual link between the colonoscopy?
I'm trying to figure out what that would be. What is it, Kathy?
It's like very medical, but there's some sort of.
Can you dumb it down for us?
They keep they're referring to it as the tail of, I guess, of the organ, and it somehow affects the other
Let me
organ.
tell you the tail of the organ.
Apparently, Dr. Mike was on Fox 29 talking about this very thing and the connection with colonoscopies. We usually don't call Dr. Mike because he's,
I just texted him.
treating doctors. Oh, okay.
Just to let him know we're talking about it in case he wants to call in.
He's not treating doctors. I didn't mean to say that. He's treating patients. He's a doctor.
He does treat doctors, though, as well.
I'm sure he's got
he has
some
doctors who are his patients, and he's the patient of a number of other doctors. It's very incestuous.
Samantha, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, so you had pancreatitis?
Yeah, I have been getting acute cases of pancreatitis since I was 15 years old.
Ew.
The first time I got it was because I was taking cough syrup for a cold, and mine is like triggered by alcohol, so I can't drink alcohol, no beer, no liquor, no cough syrup, no mouthwash, none of that.
Oh my
Wow.
God!
All right, and this started when you were 15. So have you stayed away from alcohol your entire life because of this, or?
No.
Yeah.
18 and 19, I think I was in the hospital like 5 times.
And then after that, you're like, okay, this ain't worth it.
No, it's like, oh no, it's definitely the alcohol. Like,
So for you, the worst thing in the world would be mixing a martini with a hot dog, right? You wouldn't combining
Yeah, I would
all that stuff. You'd be so. Do you know what level to take it to? You know what I'm saying? So that you
oh no, I just avoid it at all costs.
You just avoid it at all costs. That's probably the smart way to go. Yeah.
One dose of cough syrup, like for a cold, and that put me in the hospital.
Wow. Oh, that sucks.
Forget it.
Samantha. Well, yeah, but listen, sometimes you got to avoid stuff.
I wonder how much
Thanks,
how
Samantha.
similar that is to if you get like kidney stones.
Right.
I mean, it's not different
Pain-wise?
organs, but on a pain level.
I don't know. I remember my my old bandmate Jim had gout.
Yeah.
And he had to stay away from spicy food because of that.
Gout.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that
like
weird? You're something in your foot and I can't eat Mexican food?
Yeah.
It's
That is really
strange.
weird.
But sometimes there's a medical condition. You got to give things up. Let me go to Mary. I'm sorry, it's Marty. Hey, Marty, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Gadzooks.
Gadzooks, what's up?
So, I was 10 weeks postpartum, and I developed gallstones, and I had to get my gallbladder removed. It ended up getting infected, and they told me that gallbladder surgery is the most common surgery that they do, in and out, easy peasy, no worries, no problems. Well, when they went in, they found out that some stones had actually fallen out of my gallbladder. So the next morning, they actually had to do an endoscopy to remove the stones. That's how they had to do it, rather than cutting me open.
Yeah.
And because of that, I developed pancreatitis.
Oh, man.
I was in the
Because
hospital
of that
for-
endoscopy you had done that triggered it.
Yes. And then because of that, I was in the hospital for 7 days.
Oh, man.
So Marty, my dad had his gallbladder removed, and it was, as you said, it was kind of a standard thing years ago, and he was just a little bit in the hospital and out and good to go. Nothing like you had. That's horrible.
Yeah, and I had a 10-week-old baby at home.
Oh,
and then I was
that
in the hospital for 7 days because of the gallbladder and getting the gallstones out. And like the other caller said, they put me on Dilaudid, which is a good drug, I suppose, but it made me a little nuts. And
Oh, yeah.
so that also kind of exacerbated a bit. But yeah, just this nothing surgery, and I ended up with the pancreatitis, and it was so incredibly painful.
I don't.
That it was 7
Yes.
days in the hospital.
I don't want that.
Thank you, Marty. I had to go on Dilaudid one time, and it's like, you're just a mess. Yeah. He's on the line.
Yeah.
The good doctor. Let's go to him. Fox 29 and Penn Medicine, Dr. Mike Sirigliano. Morning, Dr. Mike.
I get a text from Nick. I'm in with a patient.
Oh, no.
We're
Sorry.
talking about the pancreas. Get on the phone. So anyway,
Yeah, we heard you were on Fox 29 giving a demonstration of, Travis Barker has pancreatitis. They said it might have been caused or triggered by this colonoscopy.
right. So let's break this down. First of all, it's extremely rare to have a colonoscopy lead to pancreatitis. There's about 5 cases in the literature. It can happen, but as I said this morning on Fox, you know, colonoscopy saves so many lives. I don't want anyone out there thinking they should not get their colonoscopy. And the age now is 45, and so because the numbers of cases are going way up. So let's break this down. The way I see it, and the cases that have been reported, it sometimes is caused by a difficult colonoscopy. So if you have what we call a tortuous colon, where the colon has a lot of dips and curves and things, sometimes they have to put pressure on the transverse colon. That's the top part of the colon, and it's near the pancreas. And the pressure and the movement can cause some irritation and inflame Mr. Pancreas, and Mr. Pancreas does not like to get inflamed.
He's a salty organ, isn't he?
It can be a real gnarly SOB, all right? So the thing is, there's a lot of causes, but colonoscopy is an extremely rare cause. Now, the other possibility is that they do what's called insufflation. That's where they pump air in so they can get a good look at the colon.
Right.
Sometimes that irritates the pancreas. Sometimes there's a perforation. Sometimes there's so it can be a mechanical thing. It can also be maybe the anesthesia. Who knows? But as the prior caller just said, I think that he will be out in about 5 to 7 days. They do bowel rest. They give IV fluids, hydration, pain medications, and I think he will be just fine. But as the caller said before, there are many other causes. Alcoholism can cause chronic pancreatitis. You can get gallstones, and that can cause a bile duct obstruction that can make the pancreas unhappy, and it can be extremely painful.
Mike, I know you're a people doctor, not a puppy doctor, but we're getting a lot of texts, and we received one from our friend Brian, who said pancreatitis is actually really common in dogs as well. Do you know about that?
Well, no. Some people have said I've gone to the dogs, but I don't have much experience with dog pancreatitis. I'm sure that they have a pancreas, and it can happen, I guess, in certain breeds.
Steve, you remember in the movie Kingsman, he met Harry's dog, Mr. Pickles, dies of pancreatitis.
That's actually right. Yes,
that might be fairly common. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and as far as treatments go, Mike, it's just kind of wait and let it pass thing?
Well, you need to know what the cause is. So in the caller before, gallstones are very common. Certainly if you're a drinker and you get pancreatitis, not a good thing to be drinking. So that's another thing. There you can have manipulation. So the caller before said she had what's called an ERCP. And basically when they go in to try to get the gallstones out, that can irritate the pancreas and lead to pancreatitis. But in this case, I think it was a result of either the mechanics of the colonoscopy or perhaps some drug reaction. But I think he's going to be just fine, and they'll treat him with IV fluids. They may give him nutrition through a tube through his nose. They might give him nutrition through an intravenous line. Let things settle down. Keep an eye on him to make sure he doesn't develop an abscess or worsening inflammation around the pancreas, and he should be good to go. Long life, no problem.
Well, I had 2 colonoscopies in the course of just 2 months. And, obviously, and that went fine. You're right. The colonoscopy is such a vital thing. It's such all things considered, you go in, you're out a little bit later. You got it taken care of. They can remove things that are going to be issues down the line. And it's just such a necessity. So you don't want people to be terrified of this. And it sounds like it's an anomaly.
You're right. This is an extremely rare case. And again, colon cancer kills thousands of people. You don't want to get it too late. It would be insane. It would be criminal to die from colon cancer not having had a simple thing like this done. And by the way, because I've had several colonoscopies myself, propofol,
For someone who, I've never had any sort of experience like that, but and then you wake up and you're cocooned in a blanket, and it's awesome. Yeah.
Well, I dare them to shut my brain down. down. You know, my brain it requires like double the bug juice.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway.
Oh, we love you.
Gotta
You got patience. We'll let you go. All right.
I love you.
Love you.
Dr. Mike Sirigliano, Fox 29 Pet
He
Medicine.
probably has KY on one of his fingers as he was talking about.
There you go. He likes the way it feels. A lot of the text coming in about dogs. One person had noted dog pancreatitis is from feeding dogs, quote, people food. I'm sorry, people food. So you're not supposed to feed your dog scraps
you're not.
from the table.
No?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to feed them full-on pork roll sandwiches and Cheerios and milk?
And full pizzas that you haven't even gotten a chance to eat?
Wait, Cheerios and milk?
Yeah, my mom makes Fozzie Cheerios and milk because he likes it that way. He told her.
Oh, my God.
And then Reggie, by the way, ate 7 pieces of pizza.
Does she trim the crusts off the sandwiches?
No,
for
he
him?
likes the crust.
Okay. Wait a minute. What did he have yesterday?
7 pieces of pizza.
Dude, you guys need to figure out a different option here of where to put your
Yeah,
pizza.
it's
This is like
insane.
the 5th time
Dude,
he's gotten your pizza.
He is gigantic. It doesn't matter. He also knows how to open the refrigerator. So
He knows how to open the refrigerator.
I made that up. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised.
You need like a shelf hanging from the ceiling.
I bought a new trash can because he whatever. We're talking about pancreatitis.
Well, he's gonna get it.
You got to be careful, apparently.
Yep.
As far as feeding him table scraps.
Yeah, and then hoagies yesterday. My mom is going to feed Fozzie. She's got onions on and I'm like, he does not need. I know you love him, and I know you just want to give him, stuff. But
Treat, yeah.
But this thing had onions on it, so like, let's not even risk it.
Let's not go there.
Let's not even risk it. And she's like picking the onions off of the hoagie, and I'm like,
dog.
I'm like, please don't.
Does he eat it as a fully intact hoagie, or is it broken down into kind of like, a mash of
It's
meat?
the scraps. I mean, it was the end of the hoagie.
All right. Does he take the toothpicks out if it's a sandwich?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Acute pancreatitis can occur after a dog eats a fatty food such as pork, beef, and some other human foods.
So pork roll's probably bad.
Probably
and
bad.
an Italian hoagie is probably not
You never
good
know
either.
what's bad for animals, man. I mean, Carter, my son, is so hypersensitive about what we might feed to our dogs and so he'll use the Amazon Alexa all the time to say, can you feed, can you feed whatever, something to a dog? And they will say, it'll pop up and say, no, that's toxic to a dog. Do not feed that. And we're like, oh, okay, I'm glad you checked. And some of it's pretty, certain fruits and vegetables. And
Will it
things,
get into a fight with Siri?
No, that's perfectly acceptable.
Right. But like grapes, I didn't know that.
Yeah, grapes are bad. Apparently, we found this out the other day. Gummy worms aren't great, but they're not going to kill the dog because freaking Seamus was feeding Reggie gummy worms. And I'm like, dude.
He's going to fart a bubble.
Yeah. And so I was like, you don't know if the dog can, and then so he like Googled it real quick.
To be honest, like you have to watch the dog's diet. You have to be, they're very sensitive to things because a lot of damage.
Dogs should not eat trolley gummy worms, even if they would love chewing on them.
Yep.
The main ingredient in them is sugar and cornstarch. If your dog eats them, they will be more likely to develop obesity and diabetes.
There you go.
Okay. So
Like a human. Like a
We're
human.
not only feeding him trolley gummy worms.
Also getting gelato.
What's the actual dog food?
We use
He doesn't eat that.
moist and meaty.
Tortellini.
Moist and meaty.
Well, he eats
Wasn't that a movie somebody watched at Kathy's house
that's
one time?
Massive Meaty Men.
Massive Meaty Men.
No, but
Case, does he get just as excited for his dog food as he does people food?
Not anymore.
No?
So here's the deal. Like we have the dogs separated right now because my family's down the shore. So Reggie goes down there, and then Fozzie stays at home to protect my mom to eat pork roll sandwiches.
Eat hoagies.
So they actually get sad when they're apart from each other. So Reggie doesn't eat as well. Sad. He
Pork chop sandwiches.
doesn't eat as well at when the dogs are separated.
Steve, that's Reggie
Pork chop sandwiches.
begging at the table.
Well,
However,
he
he'll
ate
house a
7
piece of-
pieces of pizza yesterday.
But
chop sandwiches.
All bets are off when it comes to people food, right? And like Fozzie will leave an entire pork roll sandwich. Okay,
Where you going, Fozzie?
By the
Pork
way-
chop sandwiches.
By the way, my mom cuts the pork roll sandwiches up into little bites. Like I come home and there is
sliders.
There is a sandwich that is cut into like little quadrants. So there's probably like 16 little bites.
Yeah.
So Reggie, when the dogs are together, has no problems eating his dog food. But when
you were kids, didn't you say she used to feed you Alpo?
No. Maybe. No. But I have eaten milk bones on my own.
Oh my
just
God.
to see what they taste
Do you guys know we make our own dog food at home? Have I told you
Wait,
that?
I was just going to bring that up because my friend has a Reggie, like Casey. She was at the sorority party at Parks that we had, and
Okay.
they were talking about it. She makes her dog breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and has options for the entire week in the fridge.
I barely make myself breakfast, lunch,
right?
and dinner, let alone a dog.
Okay,
Well, we don't do different meals. We make one
And they both-
she does
the
different
type
meals.
of dog
Both
food,
good
and then
appetites.
we feed it them through the day.
Wait, so
I'm in a current nightmare situation because we have our dog Chelsea is older. And so she's got, we're trying everything for the back hip issue that always comes into play, acupuncture and therapy and all that stuff. And we're the pet charity people. We have tons of experts in our life, and we cannot nail a food that she likes eating. And a lot of times I'm literally hand feeding her. And I wonder if a lot of it is just she's thrilled to be hand fed. But there's no food. Like, she used to put the bowl down and she would just dive right in and eat. Now it's a process every freaking night. So anyone has a suggestion what a dog about 14, 15 years old would love to eat, she's about 50, 55 pounds, I would love to hear it because we've gone through just everything.
You might like our homemade recipe.
I want to know what it is. What is it?
It's easy. It's just ground turkey, and you don't put any salt and pepper. You don't season
The
it.
dogs like that, though.
But it's ground turkey, or you can use chicken breast and eventually cut it up. But spinach, shredded carrots, and peas and rice.
Yeah, okay. That's what
And you just cook all those ingredients and you mix them together, and there you go. And they like that stuff. They eat it. It's good, and it's good for them too.
There was probably a time that would have gone over really well. I'm not sure now because we've had things that are similar to that configuration, and she's just like, no.
But make it fresh. It might be. She might like it that way. I don't know.
Mama, make it fresh.
Mama, make it fresh for you, Reggie.
It's a Reggie. You sit it down here, and we're gonna make you feel so good. How's your gelato?
How do you cook the turkey?
Just brown it.
Okay.
Yeah, in a pan. You know.
Okay.
You
It
brown
doesn't get greasy like hamburger meat, right?
No. Turkey is not greasy at all. There's very little fat.
Sucking this back is
What is this garbage?
Casey, your
no
dog's
longer amuse me, old woman.
Yeah, Mama didn't make fresh.
Mama better wash her ass.
So anyhow, pancreatitis apparently quite common in dogs, not just drummers. So
We're not suggesting that Travis Barker is in fact a dog.
No, and we have to
Wait a minute. His last name is Barker?
Yeah.
Barker.
Come on. And his girlfriend's a fox.
Yeah.
What? No, Travis Barker's wife is a Kardashian.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you're thinking
Megan
Machine
Fox
Gun
and
Kelly.
Megan Kelly. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but
yeah.
like she's sexy like a fox.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, she's foxy.
She's hungry like the wolf.
Right.
Yeah.
Hang on.
She has bats in the belfry.
I'm going to go to one more call about pancreatitis. I have Cassidy on the line. Hi, Cassidy. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good. What's up, Cassidy?
So I might have the best and the worst story for you.
Okay. All right.
My dad, for the last about 5 years, was diagnosed with necrotizing pancreatitis.
Ooh. Anything with the word necrotizing in is not good news.
Yeah, I believe it means flesh eating or
Yeah.
something.
Flesh-eating disease is called necrotizing fasciitis. So it's like, gangrene. It's necrotized. It's dead.
Right.
Didn't you get necrotizing wafers the other day at the? Didn't somebody bring you those candies, Preston? Or
Those are Necco wafers. Close.
So he was diagnosed around 4 or 5 years ago, and he was a binge drinker, so that's how he got it. And he had gone to our local hospital after literally dropping to the floor in his apartment, and they had him in there for about a week. I mean, he blew up like a balloon, and they released him after just giving him fluids and everything, and did not tell him not to drink again.
Why would you not tell him?
So
Okay.
you would think they would tell him.
Right.
So he went back out and he drank again, and then spent the last 4 or 5 years with necrotizing pancreatitis, and it killed him 6 times.
Killed him 6 times.
Yes, pronounced dead 6 times.
Jesus.
Your father was pronounced dead 6 times.
Yep, and
It was actually once, but the guy stuttered.
Yeah, I mean, he had everything from blood infections, too much yeast in his body. Both of his kidneys died.
Wow.
One lung completely deflated, one filled up with fluid.
Cassie, I'm amazed they would not impart that life-saving information that he needed to stop all that.
Right.
So how's he doing today?
He bought a house about a year ago and just got married.
Wow. Okay, good for him. Excellent.
Yeah, he's doing absolutely perfect now. And I mean, he just can't get up off the floor if he gets down.
I thought you were going to say he just can't get up off the floor.
Wow.
Wow.
He's got the military-grade mesh as a binder in his abdomen.
Oh, wow. Wow. All right.
All right, thank you.
Well,
we
glad
appreciate it,
glad he's
Cassidy.
doing fine, though.
Thank
Jesus.
you.
Wow. Okay, well, be
I don't
careful.
want that.
I don't want
That's
that
the
at
thing
all.
I don't want.
Well, thank you for your calls. I appreciate it. Casey, have Ginny hang on the line. She was on hold for like 20 minutes. I did not get to go to her, and I want to give her the option to go see Thor, Love, and Thunder.
Right. Okay, so you don't want to give her a case of beer is what you're saying.
If you want to.
No, she can't even take a shot of alcohol.
Oh, is that what it says? Oh, I didn't read that part. Anyhow, give her some tickets to see Thor, Love, and Thunder. And while we're doing that, we can take callers 11 and 12. And give them... And give them tickets as well. 215-263-WMMR. The screening is next Wednesday at UA King of Prussia. IMAX screening. The movie doesn't open until next Friday, so we'll take care of you. Let's take a break. When we get back, there's an event going on tonight. If you have pancreatitis, might not be for you because it's a cocktail party.
Yes, but it's awesome.
Robert Irvine on the Mushaloo. We'll talk to him about it when we return. Stay with us.
From Touchstone Pictures, the story of a friendship, an interspecies friendship. Me, the raccoon in me.
The raccoon in me.
Raccoon.
Oh, my.
Starring Casey.
Oh, dear Lord. All right. Let me go to Chico real quick. Hey, Chico, you're on the air. Good morning.
What's the deal, bitches?
Yo, buddy. All right, you have an interesting story. Do tell.
Oh, man. Interesting story ain't the word. When I was younger, I had a girlfriend, and her dad was a prize coon hunting dog kennel. He had a kennel that they would raise coon hunting dogs.
Yeah.
And they came across one that had some babies, so he decided to bring the baby home to the daughter, and that was my girlfriend at the time. And sure enough, she kept it as a pet. And
what kind of pet was it, Chico? Was it good and or was it a handful?
Oh, it was a handful. I mean, it was cool when it was little, and like their hands feel funny, like leathery, and, and they would do little things. But she called it. His name was Snickers. Snickers. It loves Snicker bars.
Oh, Snickers.
I thought,
Snicker
bars.
Okay.
And then what the problem what happened was long story short,
Love the Snickers.
Yeah, you can bring me my Snickers.
Hey, Chico, hook a brother up with some Snickers.
Yeah, hey Chico, bring me a Snickers.
Chico, over there by the TV, there's a bag full of Snickers. Why don't you sashay over one with two?
What's happening?
Where are my cigarettes?
After my little doobie.
I feel my nice leathery hand.
Yeah, I know. I'll use
When it was little, it would crawl around her shoulders and like hang out in her hair and do all this crazy stuff. But as it got older, it just started doing what it wanted to do. And
it's a wild animal. It's a teenager. You know how teenagers can be.
Yeah. Did you ever? So everyone here was kind of thinking. Did you ever look at its human-like hands and look at your junk and think,
looks huge in that?
Nah, they got some sharp nails, man. That thing.
Oh, yeah. True.
I can clip them, dude.
Yeah.
Just depends on how many Snickers you're ready to give me.
Yes.
You give me a fun-sized bag of Snickers, I'll bring you all the way to the end, if you know what I'm saying. Leather hands and no leather hands.
Nails or not.
Steve, you got issues, bro.
Thank you, Chico.
You got issues. Chico just called you out.
Chico bailed on his story. Snicker. Please welcome Mr. Peter Hedges.
Thank you.
To our program. Nice to see you, Peter.
Nice to be here.
So you're a ukulele player, huh?
I am. I really rip it up.
You tear up the ukulele. Now, do you say ukulele or ukulele? Because we know that the proper.
I'm just cool.
Peter was off air in case it was chit chat with him.
My wife is like, really? This is the instrument you chose to pick up? Do you really want to get laid? Because it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Like, nobody wants to.
Yeah, you don't ever see somebody like Pete Townsend.
No.
It just
and I know
happen.
4 chords, but I can play most songs.
I will tell you this: just as there are gateway drugs, I think this is a gateway to an actual guitar. You know,
That's the way it's worked.
Preston has started with an ukulele and is now learning guitar.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then I feel hopeful.
You'll get
but
there.
after hearing Barnes, I think maybe I'll just let him play because that was awesome.
He was fantastic, wasn't he?
Let me ask you something as a director and a writer and a creator of things like that. Music is obviously an essential part of the way the mood is set in a film, and you're always looking for new things.
Super important.
Yeah.
You know, over the years, I've gotten to work with Stephen Merritt and the Magnetic Fields. They scored my film Pieces of April.
Yeah.
The great Norwegian singer-songwriter Sondre Lerche scored Dan in real life. He was 23 when he did the score.
Wow.
Glenn Hansard and Marquetta wrote a song for my film The Odd Life of Timothy Green. Music is everything. I write to music. I listen to music all the time.
You know, Stephen King writes to AC/DC all the time.
Yeah, I should probably try AC/DC because I'd have a nicer house. But no, I you know, music it's so inspiring. I mean, hearing it just makes you feel so glad to be alive.
Yeah. I love your work. I love your from the writing to the directing. And I think what you do is particularly difficult in that, in the kind of drama and the kind of stuff that you write, you're going down a line where you a little bit to the left and it's treacly, and then a little bit to the right it's too self-aware. You've got it really, I think, of all these genres of film, it's the one that requires you to be as spot on as you can be. Am I correct in saying that?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's so tricky, but if you're trying to articulate the human condition, I mean, we're living in such a wacky time, and I try to put these broken people on screen that are, trying their best to do the right thing.
So in Ben is Back, which we're blown away by the trailer. It happens. It's coming at a time. It deals with a young man battling an addiction issue and returning home to his family. Takes place on the holiday, Christmas, and in one day, I believe, right?
That's right.
And so it's, I mean, we hear stories constantly, and it's, we have advertisers that, treatment centers and things of that nature. It's a critical mass problem. And actually, within my own family, I see, an extended family, I see people dealing with this. You have the dynamic of the family, and you have the Julia Roberts as the mom who wants to do everything they can without enabling, but yet making sure that there's a voice of reason. And every dynamic is in play at the same time. And I would imagine, as a parent, I don't have kids, but they all do. You're just a spinning compass. I don't know what you fix on to help somebody you dearly love and don't know what to do.
Right. That's something that tons of people are facing right now. And Julia does this amazing job in the film. She just goes everywhere and anywhere on behalf of her kid. And that's my experience with most parents.
Yeah.
They'll do anything they can to help their kid. And it's just a question of how do you help? What's the loving thing to do? How do you help someone who is, addiction's a disease.
Yeah.
And how do you help treat it?
In my own family, in the situation that I've seen, many different things have been tried. Is this the way to go? Is this the way to go? Right. Is this the way to go? The love never wanes, but it's like at what point you have to the person has to assess. Am I killing myself in pursuit of this? Right. And what about the people who aren't addicted? Are they suffering as a result?
Right.
It's an amazing thing to deal with, and I think even more difficult for you as the writer director to do the just thing when dealing with it.
Well, true, but I wanted to put a story out that shone a light, if you will, on how all the angles, all the points of view,
sure,
and to try to expand compassion that people might have for people who are going through this.
Right.
And sometimes you can't imagine how hard it is.
Yeah.
Oddly, though, there's incredible amounts of humor in the film.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love. There are these kind of surprising moments of joy.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of heartbreak and
Like life.
agony. Yeah.
Well, and you're the guy to pull it off. I mean, because About a Boy does that so wonderfully. There's heartbreak, there's hope, there's a lot of humor in it as well. In fact, it's hard to categorize that movie. There's so many funny moments in it that it's hard to categorize that as a drama as well. Just to point out, I mean, like, how did you have the idea of Will going to a women's support group to pick up women? Or had you heard of someone?
No, that's the genius of the great Nick Hornby, who wrote the novel.
Right. Okay, you did the screenplay. That is correct.
No. But Nick wrote this amazing novel, and they called me and said, "Do you want to adapt this?" And I said, "I don't want to do. I want to do my own work."
Sure.
And then I said, well, finally, they called a few times. I said, "Well, what's the book about?" And they said, "Well, it's about this single guy who goes to," and I said, "Oh, you've got to send it to me right away."
Nice.
And it's one of those books I read. I went, "Oh my, I wish I'd written it." And so all I tried to do was be help move it. And then the Weitz brothers came in and did their beautiful, beautiful film of it, and took what I did and improved it, I think, massively. So, but I got to swim around in that story, and I just tried to serve it, which is what you try to do when you're working on anything like that. It's just to be helpful.
Your mother's a psychotherapist?
She was.
She was a psychotherapist, and your dad was
an Episcopal priest. Yeah.
So I think your empathetic ability to tie into things that at least resonate.
Right. I was groomed.
Yeah. You had a good
cry. That's what I was basically.
Right.
Raised to be that guy who got beat up and was like, I love everybody. I'm a vegetarian.
Here's a ukulele.
Yeah, here's a ukulele. You can see that there's a real motif here.
Were you a sensitive ponytail guy at any point?
I never a ponytail. I did have a kind of a Mick Jagger moment where my hair was long, but I didn't have any of Mick's swagger. I was too sweet. I was the nice guy.
Well, we love your work, really.
Thank you. What a pleasure to have long and robust conversations about me.
How about that? You love me. You really love me.
And now I'm going to sing. Let's go to commercial.
Well, we brought up some ukulele music for you here.
Oh, great.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, my wife's getting ready with the nightgown. We're going to have some fun.
She gets so turned on.
Oh, it's so over.
Oh, this is great. Is final countdown?
This is the final countdown on ukulele. I don't know why there's a piano part in the beginning here.
I like the piano, though.
It is kind of fun, though. I don't know when it's going to kick in here at any point. But listen,
You're killing me.
I will remind people that
I'm going home.
This could be part of the soundtrack.
Yeah, there you go.
This could be the closing credits song. Oh, there's a kazoo, too.
Thanks so much.
Here we go. All right, so anyhow. Oh, you want me to keep going?
There you go.
All right, so in theaters.
Oh no! No!
Peter did it! He just told us to F off.
Oh God, how much did that cost me?
Oh my God.
No, we're good. We got
I caught it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
You raised the double birds.
I'm the son of a minister.
Oh, this has been a great day.
Oh my God.
There we go.
great.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ben is back as in theaters. December 21st. Says Peter Hedges. We'll take a break and we'll be right back. Steve sent over a link. It is from Cosmopolitan magazine. Cosmo
is my my magazine.
That's your jam?
Yeah.
You're a
it's
Cosmo
how
reader?
it helps me pick my outfits on a daily basis.
And
I'm a Cosmo girl.
The article is titled 65 Fun and Cheap Dates That'll Put Dinner and a Movie to Shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? We don't have to spend anything. Let's just stay here.
So do you want me to go through a few of these?
Some are actually...
some are okay.
Some are okay.
Some are silly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's...
I mean, there's 65 of them. They had to fill up a lot. Fun, cheap date ideas to put dinner and a movie to shame.
Yeah, sometimes it won't put movie and a dinner to shame, but let's go through it. Let's see what we got.
Go to an open house.
I love this. I do that. Do you do this?
We can date, Steve.
Yeah, we could. Let's go ahead.
Yeah, that's fun, and you get to see what people live like and what they have in their medicine cabinets.
I am nosy as F when it, like at night when I walk around and people's houses are lit up. I'm looking in windows.
Right.
I'm going inside.
Nick, what kind of panties they have?
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
What's under the bed?
Go to a coffee shop and read together.
No,
that's ridiculous.
These are the worst suggestions I've ever heard.
You do, Kathy. You do every one of these.
Go to an open house?
Yeah, that's your thing.
Loser.
Yeah.
Okay. Go to a coffee shop and read together.
Look at this. Look at this picture. So they have them reading together. Do me a favor. If you see me doing that with my wife, come up behind us and put 2 bullets in our head.
What we're looking at.
What's happening tonight? What can people expect, Robert?
So we have a big party tonight. 4 cocktails made with our Irvine spirits, of course. We've got chef-curated spirits, but also chef-curated dishes that's supporting our Robert Irvine Foundation tonight. You know, I was in Brooklyn yesterday visiting a bunch of firefighters and taking care of their needs. So that's exactly what the foundation does, take care of our first responders and our men and women that wear the cloth of a nation. Tonight is all about raising money for them. So even if you don't have a ticket, you can go onto my Facebook page, and we got a wait list there, and we're working through that today. So it's kind of exciting.
Awesome. And it's just $25. And so people come out and are you going to be working the room a bit, Robert?
I'm gonna be working the room. I'm gonna be bartending. I'm gonna be doing a little dancing, maybe. Who knows?
Wow, yeah,
nice, nice.
You know, you're on board a historical ship. Obviously, it's cinematic ties. It's in the beginning of Godfather 2. It's also in the background in Rocky. So it has classic film status. Are you impressed by that at all?
I'm impressed because I launched my liquor on. That's what I care about.
That's the only thing that matters.
In any movie.
Listen.
As long as it's not Titanic, I don't care.
Well, we were impressed to see your name tied in with this really cool concert event that's coming up in Maryland, the Ocean's Calling. And I mean, there's some really cool names: Dave Matthews Band, Alanis Morissette, the Lumineers, KG Elephant, a lot of really big groups on board. And then you are what's your tie-in to that, Robert?
So it's funny. We when we did Beats and Eats this year, we had some amazing artists from the Dave Matthews Band, and we got involved with them because they wanted a food element. So I said, okay, let's do this. So food and music. OAR, they're great supporters of our foundation and what we do. So it was a pleasure to say, hey, listen, let's get some great chefs. Let's do some demo. Let's do some food. And it's going to be exciting. That's like, and each one, I think it's $1 on Saturday from each ticket goes to us, our foundation. So
that's awesome. Yeah, Robert, I'm actually turning this, my friends and I are turning this into a mini college reunion because there's a whole bunch of like 90s era bands on there. I'm excited to see the Wet Sprocket. They're a part of the festival as well. So we're coming down to Ocean City, Maryland for the entire weekend. And it sounds like it's just going to be an awesome time. It's really cool that you're going to be a part of it as well.
And make sure you touch base with Justin because we'll know exactly where everything is.
Perfect. Good to know.
Only
nice.
Good.
Hey, what's your summer been like so far?
Yeah.
Have you had any downtime? You very rarely do.
No, I just came back from Scotland. I did a 1,000-mile march with 56 miles with 1,000 coalition wounded. Next week, we're off to Poland, Spain, Germany, Italy, cooking for the troops for the USO tour. The show's been crazy. Waiting to see if we get an Emmy nod for the show. I just picked up Male Star of the Year with the Critics' Choice Awards. So it's been a busy couple of months, actually.
Have you ever entered for the Adult Film Awards just to see if you might,
just for fun.
You might win?
Just to see if you might win?
But listen. If I can make a banoffee pie, I can definitely do, one of those.
Some of that stuff.
Casey was talking about banoffee pie this morning.
Did somebody tell you that I was talking about banoffee pie this morning?
Listen, do you know where banoffee pie comes from? Seriously?
No.
Essex, 1971.
So
yeah.
That was the point. That's the year was, and the town
was the. Here's it. I'm so sorry to interrupt, Steve. It's the greatest dessert I've ever had in my entire life. I dream about it. I loved it so much. It just has every flavor I want.
What's in banoffee? What is in banoffee pie that makes it?
So it actually was a mistake. It was two guys in Essex trying to do an American recipe, and they couldn't find ingredients, so they put bananas in it. It's basically caramel, bananas, cream, digestive cookies. We make it in our restaurant in Vegas, so it's a huge hit. It's sweet, condensed milk. It's pretty good.
So I want to ask you, because the Irvine's gin is doing very well, and you are always looking to expand your brand. What else is in the in the queue, ready to be unleashed?
Well, we've got a lot of stuff. We're working on bourbon right now. We've got
Preston's very happy to hear that. By the way,
yeah, it's a great bourbon too. But we're really just focusing on getting the states. So we're about 42 states right now, and then we'll start as we start to move these products. Then we'll start to introduce more stuff.
Nice.
But we have a lot of things in the pipeline. So. It's really good.
How good are you at mixology and coming up with cocktails? We know your handiwork with food, but when it comes to mixing drinks and coming up with interesting stuff, you got a pretty decent. You got good chops at that.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at it. The gin. I actually got 13 botanicals that I cook with to create the gin. So when I think of gin, I think of Christmas trees, right? Juniper forward. This gin is not that. I call it the non-drinker's gin because it's more citrusy than it is junipery. So yeah, I'm pretty good. I went to Sri Lanka to pick up the cinnamon. So I know the spices. I know how to mix drinks. I'm not bad. I know how to drink drinks too.
So you had to go to Sri Lanka to get the cinnamon? Like they sell it at Acme, Robert.
Yeah, the difference is, and here's something new for you, right? Where does cinnamon come from in this country?
Good question. I have no idea.
Right?
I always thought there was like a cinnamon fairy.
It's called cassia, and in cassia is pepper, and pepper is too strong for this drink. So yeah, Sri Lankan cinnamon is the best.
So so like with the vodka, you want to take what is sort of a basic perception of it and change it a little bit. You're saying it's like a not a drinker's type of gin. So do you always look for that angle to hang on how you're going to roll out one of these?
Yeah, I want to make it unique. I want to go against, and should I say it, the Tito's of the world and those folks, because I believe that, they've got the market share for a couple of years, but hey, watch out, Irvine's coming after you.
Right. Very nice.
Nice, man. It's got local ties right here in Lansdale and in our area, which is pretty awesome as well. And I've been to parties where Robert has been, and he's a good time, man.
Does he get hammered?
No, he's just really good at going around spending time with people.
Oh yeah.
He projects. He's a big entity. He's just a big personality and fun to hang out with. And you'll be doing that tonight.
Guy. I do like to drink. I do like to have a couple of drinks.
Well,
and your listeners.
Go ahead.
Sorry, guys. Your listeners can get this at fine wines and spirit stores all over PA too. So yeah, it's supporting local business, local charity, and local workforce, which is great.
Very nice. All great stuff. It's tonight from 5 to 8. And again, if
tickets are $25, buddy.
Yeah,
That's
and if you've never been to the Marshallu, if you see it there, you will not get a better view of the city. And honestly, you feel like you're on a cruise. It's just wonderful. And of course, their food and everything is sensational.
Yep, absolutely. So head there tonight, and you can go to thedeckphilly.com or just check our website. We'll have the info there. Yeah, Case?
And I want to personally invite you over to my house to make me banoffee pie in my kitchen. 'Cause you sent me the recipe. You sent me your recipe, and I looked at it, and I was like, I will ruin this. So I didn't even attempt it. But if you have a few minutes and you want to come over, it doesn't have to be today. It can be tomorrow.
Listen, I will do better than that.
Yeah?
Shane Cash is my corporate chef, 26 years. I'm going to send him over to your house to teach you.
Okay.
Wow.
Yes, I like that.
All right. I'm down with that.
So Casey's been getting more adventurous in the kitchen.
So come here, Shane, come here.
Oh.
So you better clean it up.
Buckle your seatbelt, buddy.
Sounds great to me. And also, I wanted to send a thank you from our friend Steve Wilson from Wilson's Secret Sauce. He said he wanted me to thank you personally for the exposure that you gave him when you came out and filmed at his restaurant a few months ago.
Awesome.
Excellent. All right.
It's all about helping folks.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And you walk the walk.
Tonight from 5 to 8, and stop by, and the proceeds go to the Robert Irvine Foundation, and he does great work, obviously, with military, first responders, everybody, all that stuff. Robert, great to see you, sir. Once again, awesome to have you in Philly, and we'll catch up again soon. All right, buddy?
Appreciate you all. Have a great day, guys.
All right, see you. Robert Irvine, guys! Hey. So that's tonight, and like Steve was saying, it's from 5 to 8, and you want to swing by and see what they have in store. Should be pretty cool. Let me see.
Are you the random thoughter?
No. No, I'm the jockey.
Yeah.
He's coming back.
The horse whisperer.
He's back. What's that horse's name?
Seabiscuit.
Aw.
Except it's C is in the C word.
Yeah. All right, I have.
Oh my God.
What? Sea biscuit.
Yeah.
If you were to actually say that out loud,
yes.
that's pretty funny.
It is funny.
Actually, that's a pretty good insult right there. I wish I could say it.
You can't. You can't. Your daughter's right next to you.
I know. All right, I'm going to share with you, and since my
is this the thing?
Daughter is right next to me,
finger?
it's a little embarrassing because it's out of the family. I mean, I know we were just talking about medical stuff.
Oh, we were.
But I have to.
You were the internist.
Yeah. I have to bring this up to you. My wife tells me last night that her aunt, and we were purposely doing this out of the room where Caroline wasn't around, but
So now
too
you're
bad
doing
she's
it while
right here
she's
next
in
to
the
me.
room.
So tomorrow morning you'll come on in and hear the whole thing.
Don't tell her. So her aunt called her and told her that she had, and we've mentioned this before, that this type of thing has happened to people before, but apparently she had that condition where she had multiple, over and over, nonstop orgasms.
Wow.
Hours.
Wait, Rochelle's aunt called her?
Unassisted. Her body was just doing that over and over and over again. Here you go. Oh, it's an orgy now, apparently. So,
all right. So it started out of nowhere, or did it start with somebody else?
No.
Did she have pancreatitis first?
No, it started out of nowhere.
So this is, Preston's right. We've talked about this situation occurring. A lot of times it'll end up in the bizarre file.
Yes. So it happened to her.
Wow. And she had it before?
No, this was her description, is that it was every 5 minutes for 3 hours.
And at what point is it no longer good?
Like after the second
the third
one.
month.
Yeah.
Right. No, like after the second one. You think that's ecstasy, but after a while it becomes
fun,
uncomfortable.
No, like I would think it would be awful. It would border on painful after 2 or 3, and then you just want it to go away.
I don't know. I
don't understand.
Do you want to try it, Case? Can you do it?
I would love to try it. I would love to try this.
Come on over.
Every 5 minutes for 3 hours?
I don't know. Well,
it's the first time I've done this with my mouth, but let's give it a shot.
For the show.
My God.
Oh my God.
There's medical terminology for it.
Yeah, persistent.
Whoopee.
No, persistent genital arousal disorder, or PGAD. PGAD.
It doesn't happen in men, right? Or does it?
Not according to this.
I think it's just women.
After a while, no. Okay, I've heard of a similar situation, but not. This is where you're having a full orgasm.
Yes.
In this way, I think men can. Well, I guess the equivalent would be the 4-hour arousal.
But
without that's painful.
That's painful.
Right.
Yeah. So anyhow, it says here, it's a phenomenon in which afflicted women experience spontaneous genital arousal unresolved by orgasms and triggered by sexual or non-sexual stimuli eliciting stress.
Dad, can I talk to you for a minute?
Oh, my God.
Mom's in the basement.
So the only thing I can sort of liken this to is when I was younger, when I climbed a pole.
Yeah, should we talk?
Yeah, and this is before I ever gone through puberty or anything like that. But when I climbed, and it happened on a few different occasions.
It's called sort of like the gym class climbing the rope syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Where you get explain what it is.
Well, I didn't know that anybody had ever experienced this until I watched Wayne's World.
Dad, can I talk to you for a minute?
And Garth said she makes me feel kind of funny, like when I used to climb the rope at gym class, and I was like, wait a second, I'm like, that happened to me. Where I full on had that sensation. But I was too young to like.
So imagine you're as
not process. Nothing came out.
It's happening over and over and over again over the course of multiple hours.
Yeah, I mean that's a real fine line between pleasure and pain, and like in that center of your brain, and that's why people like to dabble between the two. I'm not one of those types of people.
No, not me.
But people are into it, and I get that they're into it, and I can see this, especially for your wife's aunt, Preston, crossing that line really fast. Where you're like, oh, that feels great, and now I want it to go away.
Okay, so how do they treat it?
I don't know. She went to the doctor, and I did not find out what kind of treatments they did because it finished. She got done after 3 hours.
Yeah.
And it hasn't come back yet.
Like, I would definitely seek medical attention maybe after the second
hour?
one.
Yeah,
No, the second one, because I would know. All
I
right,
want this to stop in 40 minutes.
You better stop that in an hour or two. No, I wouldn't. I would know that this isn't supposed to be happening.
Yes.
That I should probably seek medical help.
Also, unassisted. You're not. It's simply happening.
Right.
Yes. It's
You're
like
not-
a phantom sensation.
Right.
There's no assistance there. It's just all of a sudden.
Oh God.
But apparently it was pretty debilitating because she was not
using heavy machinery.
Happy about it, and I need to get a follow up on
The
that.
treatments are not great.
What are they? Is it the same as pancreatitis?
No, it's like they use electrical currents.
No. She was told to put ice there.
Well, yeah, they said
Where?
numbing gels, but that may not be long term.
To put ice in her,
Who?
Yeah.
What about if she watches the guy on the jet ski from Tiger King? Would that kill her?
That ought to kill it right there.
Yes.
Wait, but there's so they use antidepressants to.
Okay, now I'm remembering more of what Rochelle told me last night. So she
You should
said,
know this at home in case this happens. If you're with someone, how to help them.
So the question was, how did this happen? It may have, and she's not 100% sure, it may have been from abruptly stopping taking antidepressants, Kathy. That instead of weaning off of them, and we're watching the video of the guy on the jet ski from Tiger King.
That's getting me going.
But they say there's potentially could have been from stopping taking this too quickly because certain medications you're supposed to slow down.
Right, you have to wean off of because if you do it too abruptly, it can cause issues.
Something, and apparently massive orgasms is part of
Side effects.
Side effects may include massive orgasms.
I just thought it was really strange.
Diarrhea, massive orgasms.
No, lead with the orgasms.
They said ice, Kathy, was what she needed to do.
Yeah, so this thing
temporarily.
says, I'm on healthline.com. Electrical currents help relieve nerve pain, so you can do things like that. But they were talking about putting them on using.
Like a car battery?
I think so. Electroconvulsive therapy.
You're giving electric shock therapy to your cooter.
Well, they said it's often used for bipolar or severe anxiety.
One flew over the cooter's nest.
Oh, my God.
Right? There was that scene in the end.
There's a scene where he gets shocked. Yes, one flew over the cooter's nest.
This is crazy.
Here's a text that says, so I had the same thing happen.
Oh, my God.
After both my COVID boosters, I developed chills and fever and orgasms every few minutes for over an hour.
I got 3 shots. I didn't get not even a boner.
Not one boner.
Not one. Oh, come on. A rip off.
The hell?
I mean,
come on, man. What kind of guy?
Damn it, Derna.
Is that person going to call in?
I texted them asking them to.
Oh, the
person who had that after the COVID boosters.
I'm thinking it's a female, probably.
Yes.
No, it happened to me, I can swear. Damnedest thing that ever happened.
Santa's got
It was
to
in
go.
Buffalo.
Santa's got to come.
Santa's got to go.
Oh, my God.
I don't know.
Yeah. Hit it
I think
twice.
we better
just-
jump out on that one. Hang on a second here. To be honest, I was thinking the same thing, and I refrained from saying it.
But you can say Seabiscuit.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Santa's got a sea biscuit.
No, Santa's got to shoot. You can say that, right?
Right. Wait, isn't there a song?
Seabiscuit?
No.
I need you to stop talking.
Santa's coming down the lane or whatever. Am I mixing my?
Oh my God!
Hang on.
Here comes Santa
Here
Claus.
comes Santa Claus.
That's it.
I saw Santa.
Here comes Santa Claus. Is what I was
you
thinking.
can say
of.
that.
Right. Here comes Santa Claus.
Grandma got teabagged by Santa.
I saw Mommy teabagging Santa Claus.
right.
That was
Mommy Santa Claus teabagged.
It would be the other way around. Unless you had like big time lunch meat.
I don't. Oh
Like
my God!
Like meaty mistletoe.
We have gone off the rails.
What the hell is wrong with
There
you
is
people?
nothing redeeming, educational, or entertaining about this exchange, yet I'm loving it.
Glad I brought my daughter in here today.
Yeah, well,
nice.
this
Yeah,
is
like
your
this is one of the
fault.
more profane. Well, Bill's on vacation.
Oh, that's right.
So we're
fine.
good.
You don't even have a meeting for
How's it going there in Philadelphia?
Oh, everything's great.
Oh, my God.
By the way, Caroline, it was Aunt Susie that we're talking about.
Oh, my God.
She didn't
Aunt
want to
Susie's
know,
gonna
and
be
you just
so mad.
ruined part of her life.
Wait, what did you say?
Thought it was the other one.
You thought it was the other one? No.
How
No.
old is Aunt Susie?
Aunt Susie's
That's a good
got to be late 50s.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Something like
So,
that.
but
yeah.
we believe it was the abrupt termination of the music.
What are we listening
Of
to?
the medication.
Here comes Santa Claus.
Oh.
This is
like
terrible.
the country version of it.
It's kind of like the only one we have, though.
Okay.
Okay.
I hear no. Here
Yeah,
comes
There's
Santa
nothing
Claus
even
there at all.
remotely.
All right. We have the anonymous texter
All right.
who got this happen from the shot. Hi, anonymous texter. Good morning.
Hi.
Hi. All right. So
Yeah.
how long ago was this?
This was trying to think January, I guess. The
This-
first
Okay.
one, and then the other one about a month or so ago.
It happened
Yeah.
each time you got the booster?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did they say why
So,
that was happening?
No, I mean, I was having just a regular exam with my gynecologist not that long ago, and I was hemming and hawing whether to mention it or not, and I told her, and the only thing she said was she's heard some really bizarre side effects from the booster, but
So, but like booster side effects you hear are more, are I haven't ever heard this as a side effect.
No, just like flu-like symptoms are all I've mainly heard.
Yeah, because it's never happened to me before, you know. So the only thing I could think of, because I got like the day after my booster, I got the fever, I got some stomach pain, some chills, and then boom, it was jolting. Like I was jolting every few seconds. It was like just.
Let me ask you that. Hold on. What you were experiencing was a full orgasm type experience, and how far apart were they?
Some were very, very close together. Then it might subside a bit, and then I'd have it like a few minutes apart, and then it would be like boom, boom again.
That's got to be. I mean,
I was crying.
yes,
It was just gonna.
it's got to be scary. I mean, no matter how pleasant
it was.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
It wasn't. Well, nothing. I took a lot of ibuprofen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, was it fun in the beginning?
It was surprising. Like the first time, I'm like, okay, well, that's not so bad. And then it just was like fast and furious. And I said, no, this, I just was very uncomfortable, and it was
Diesel works
making
his
me
way in.
nauseous after a while.
Yeah, no,
Wow.
that's
Nauseous.
Of course, I think anything like that in excess where you're having, I think you'd get terrified. Obviously, we assume it would pleasure or associated with pleasure, but after that long, you're going, what in the F?
Right.
Yeah. Wow, man.
Were you alone or were you around people?
My husband was in another room. He came up to check on me, and I finally just was crying. And I'm like, I know you're going to laugh at this, because I didn't want to tell him, because I didn't want him to laugh and think it was funny.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, no. And that's pretty much all I got from him. I was like, okay, well.
Maybe I should get one of
thank
those.
God he didn't laugh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jesus.
Have you?
He got both his boots. I'm sorry.
No,
ahead.
you continue. There's a little delay here. We're having an issue with this, but go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say he got both his boosters, and he was disappointed. Nothing like that happened.
Right. Of course.
In fact, she's at Rite Aid right now.
Man. Yeah. And so how many? This lasted for about an hour, I think you said.
Yeah, it was about an hour or so. Yeah. Not 3 hours like your aunt or whatever, but yeah. It was enough to just be really disconcerting.
Okay.
So what did they tell you to do? Did you, in fact, seek medical help?
No.
Go ahead.
No. No.
All right.
I was kind of embarrassed.
Sure.
I was kind of like, I don't know.
But what I would be like, were you scared a little that you had no idea what the hell was going on and why this was happening?
Yeah, but the thing is, I also had the chills and I had a fever. I was kind of like,
groggy.
I just felt crappy altogether.
Right.
So,
And so how many do you think you had in that hour?
oh God, I have absolutely no. Oh my God, I wouldn't even know. I couldn't even count.
When I get sick, I get
And they
jealous.
weren't like we're not talking like I wasn't like in rapture for minutes at a time. I mean, it was kind of like the jolt, the kind of the feeling, boom, done.
Wow. So what I would recommend, and hopefully this doesn't happen again, but for the information that we need, if you can keep one of those clickers that they use at the door at nightclubs,
Yeah, just to keep a count.
Maybe they have an app for that, and I can install it on my phone.
Sure, yeah. Wow, well, thank you for calling.
Random caller. We appreciate that. I'm glad it hasn't happened to you again. But yeah, that was just that was out of nowhere. Rochelle was like, "You will not believe what happened," and then she told me the story. I was like, man,
With the guy, it'd be you eventually. The dry heaves at a certain point. You'd have.
That's kind of what you have now.
I have a dry. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but imagine that sensation over and over. After a while, that would, that would wear a little thin.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a sneeze.
You get tired,
Like
except you don't do it into a tissue.
A couple of sneezes are okay.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
In fact, they can be kind of relief.
Yeah.
Like that first one was like, oh, wow.
Oh, I can breathe.
And then if like 5 or 6 were to happen after
And you're
that,
like, oh, come on already.
yeah, it would suck.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good analogy right there. I had like a muscle miniature spasm in my stomach yesterday that just wouldn't stop, and it wasn't hurting. It wasn't like a cramp or anything like that. It was just like this little jiggle of the muscle in my stomach, and I'm like, it was driving me crazy. And
You wonder what it is.
yeah, and I was just it was more annoying than anything. And sometimes your body just does these stupid things that we don't know why. And
Like when you, so I got what you call a classic stitch, and turning and working out in my abdominal muscles.
Yeah.
And so now it's going away, but you move the one wrong way, and you'll feel it.
All right.
But I have yet to get an orgasm because of it.
I have. I felt that was worth sharing.
Yes.
And I'm interested that we got a
Can
call.
we get her on the phone?
Somebody who concurs.
Your aunt?
I probably not now, but maybe down the road. Oh, I've failed to mention this all morning.
Yeah, it's a big
I
day.
apologize. Nick just brought this up to me that today is the actual Ann Gorski's birthday today.
Wait a second.
So yeah, it's not.
Was that anonymous caller Ann Gorski?
It might have been Ann Gorski for all that I know.
That's right.
So may the Gorski with you. But we actually do that on May 4th, right?
Yes.
So we have 2 Ann Gorski birthdays, and today is the legitimate one.
It's
the
like
one.
President's Day.
Yes, happy birthday, happy real birthday to Ann Gorski.
There's a graphic up in the studio here. It's beautiful.
It says, happy real birthday to Ann Gorski. So, Ann, we wish you the best birthday. All right, we do need to take a break.
Yes.
We're going to come back in a second and get some bizarre file stories. So make sure you stay with us because we're not going to be gone long. Stay put.
That would end in a fight.
Yes, it would.
Hey, Stevie Wonder, why don't you take a crack at speeding it up a bit?
Go to a dog park together. It says yes, even if you don't have a dog.
That's crazy.
Listen, the other folks wanted me to come over and ask, what are you doing here? We think you're perverts. Dog parks are fun. There's Pretzel Park right in Manayunk. Has a lovely little dog park. There's a big statue of a pretzel.
Okay. Here we go. Do face masks together.
You mean like Halloween or
No, it says-
beauty masks?
It says everyone cares about their skin.
This
Everyone.
sounds like things to force your boyfriend to do with you.
That's what I'm hearing. Throw a party where your guests BYOB.
That's a lot of
That's
work.
not a date.
That's not a date.
That's
It's
not a date.
stupid.
Start binge watching a new show together. That's
kind of
what
obvious.
that's at home.
Yeah, that's standard.
Here we go. Do a puzzle together.
Oh, no. No. I hate puzzles.
Well, I'm okay with this one.
Are you?
Yeah, puzzles are fun.
Let's do a puzzle.
There was a while where we had just like a puzzle on the table that was whenever you wanted to go over and work on it, it was
my
there.
gosh. That is like a nightmare for me. That's a mess on a table that stays and doesn't leave.
You should have seen her face, just rolling her eyes.
It's almost like the "Are we having sex?" face. Ew.
Pre-sneeze.
Kathy, the perfect puzzle to get if Dennis ever makes you get a puzzle to do is make sure that when it's put together, it spells out "I want a divorce."
Seriously.
So that just looks like a mess to you.
I kind of agree. That's why I hate puzzles. There's always a piece missing.
Have you ever gone to a psychologist to check to see if you're OCD or?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Wait right here, Miss Romano. I need to go into the other room.
I've not officially been diagnosed.
All right.
I know that I've actually had the the therapist did the ADD stuff on me, and I have a whole bunch of things working.
Yeah, we would leave a puzzle laying out on the table, and the whole family could work on it from time to time. You could do it on your own, or everybody would
throw it
kinda
out.
sit there and we worked on it together.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
It's not necessarily date activity. It's
Kathy.
more family activity.
Yeah, it's not a date activity.
I would do this into the garbage.
Seriously, I'm just thinking, this has been here for a month. Is anyone going to finish the puzzle?
Mommy's so much fun. How come these balloons were not inflated?
How about this? Take a bunch of personality quizzes together.
Oh, that'll be great.
Won't that be
Yeah,
fun?
you are a little obsessive. What did you say? Well, you never complete a jigsaw puzzle.
By the way, these are 65 great cheap first date ideas. Go on a guided tour together. Nick, you had mentioned that one. Here we go. Wake up ass early and watch the sunrise together.
No.
Thank you. Make breakfast for dinner. That can be fun. That's good for a family. No, Casey says.
Hey, look, we're having cereal.
Oh.
That's not crazy. Normally associated with breakfast, but we're having it now. It's over, isn't it?
It's over.
Go for a run.
Go for a run.
That's not a
I'm
date.
going to go for a run, and I'm not going to stop.
That's exercise. See a movie at an off time.
Let's go at 4 o'clock.
Like,
isn't that crazy? We're living on the edge. It's over, isn't it? I have some cereal in the car.
It's over, isn't it? Keep running. The next guest's film is not premiering until November 21st, but if you had partaken upon all these movies that are available, you would have gotten to see his movie last night because there was a screening of it.
Yes.
And we are happy to have him back in our studio yet again, and he's brought you so many great films in one way, shape, or the other over the years. Up in the Air, Thank You for Smoking, Juno, Whiplash, just to name a few. And now, here to talk about the front runner, we have Mr. Jason Reitman. Yay. Good to see you again, man.
It's good to see you. I just really feel bad for your audience that, they were listening to all these great stories about sex injuries, and then you're like, let's talk about art film, guys.
Well, this way we can say, hey, look, we're well-rounded, and this gives it credibility. Even if we're not well-rounded, we give the illusion of being well-rounded.
I almost buy it.
Congratulations on this. There's a lot of buzz over the movie, which is called Front Runner. It's the story of Gary Hart's run towards the presidency and the beginning of a I think, and as you rightly point out, and I've read interviews with you about the film, it was sort of a flashpoint for when news became tabloid and things that used to sort of like in the Kennedy years, the press sort of said, you got your personal thing, we'll cover it to some extent, and then, or even before, there were some things that just were not. Let's focus on the politics, and this is what we're here to talk about. But then it became something wholly other. And I remember as the Gary Hart story was unfolding, and it just now, of course, we have a multitude of news sources, but the country was focused. And so, like in 1 week, a guy who looked like he was going to be the next president. It just came crashing down.
When I heard the story, I just thought, oh, here is a thread that leads us to 2018. When we try to imagine, all right, when does this moment start? When does tabloid journalism drive into the lane of political journalism? Here you have the story that is this kind of great pH test that reflects both sides of the audience.
Politics always surfaces in movies if it's done right because it's compelling. It can be very compelling, and the Candidate is a perfect example.
I have a tattoo from another movie of the same director.
What is it?
It's from Downhill Racers, the poster from Downhill Racers. So I am
awesome.
I'm really nerdy. Yeah.
That's very cool. So, but is that in fact the case?
It's not cool, but I appreciate that. But anyhow, look, it became this way to kind of understand today, and it's this thriller of a movie that touches on gender politics, that touches on the relationship between journalists and candidates, and that line between where our public life becomes our private life.
Right.
Before we got on this conversation, we were talking off air. We're headed to London tomorrow. What should we do while we're in London?
Are any of you guys Harry Potter fans?
Oh,
100%.
Yeah, Nick is massive fan.
Okay,
we're all fans.
They took the 2 stages where they shot the film at Leavesden in London, and they've turned it into this Harry Potter experience. And look, I'm a cynical guy, right? Like, I made Thank You for